All right, we are officially live. Welcome to the USHL Phase 1 Draft Show. So we've got an esteemed series of colleagues here, a great panel assembled to go over all things going on across the USHL Phase 1 Draft. So moving from left to right on your screen here, we have Ed Besinger, one of the local scouts for the New England region. We also have the one, the only Ian Moran, NHL veteran and director of NHL scouting. We also have our fearless leader and the bearded one, Brendan Collins, come all the way down from Vermont. He is our director of scouting. And of course, last but not least, the Silver Fox himself, Brian Murphy. He is the director of US Scouting. So basically what you have today is we're going to be going live throughout this entire USHL draft, pick by pick, and pulling out insights because we've been watching these players over the last few years. We have a pretty good idea of who we think is going to be picked. And if you've been paying attention on Twitter, Facebook, etc., you've probably seen the fact that we recently put out a top 250 list that you may want to take a look at, which is going to largely guide what we think is going to happen throughout the course of these first 10 rounds across the Phase 1 draft. So before we get started, and obviously the picks will be starting to roll in a few minutes. So before that, I think one of the things that we wanted to do was kick this thing off just talking through the process, talking through a little bit about how we got here, and starting off with the USHL Combine, which I know Brendan and Murph had just come back from. So, Brendan, if you want to just take this thing and run with it, tell us a little bit about just the process, and tell us a little bit about how the Combine went for you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Basically, we went out, Murph and I went out to Green Bay, Wisconsin. We watched the USHL Combine. It was 12 teams. It was really fun, actually. There was over 100 kids there I'd never seen before. So it was a good opportunity for those players and for the USHL teams to get a last look at some guys before the draft. And then in terms of our process, basically our scouts from all over the United States and Canada come in, they submit reports, they put together rankings in their region. We take those rankings, those regional rankings, and put together a national ranking. And then we just kind of go from there, So the players that are in this top 250 ranking, and then there's probably another 200 or so that were close. Some of those guys have been seen by 5 different scouts. Some of them have been seen by only 1 or 2. So it kind of depends on the region and where they're from. But, I was looking this morning just to kind of double check before we posted it. And there's a couple of kids on that list that have 12 or more reports. So check out the website. You can read, kind of the progression of these kids. We've got them back since Bantams, which is kind of interesting. You can see some kids are trending up, some kids are trending downward. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was there too, and I think what Brendan says is absolutely right. You get really excited about a player, and you're like, oh, I think I found someone no one knows about, and then sure enough, we go back and we have 4 reports on that player, and pretty much in line with what I'm seeing. So. But we also found and saw some new players that we really didn't have a great grasp on, that I think we got a better grasp on, and we think that quite a few of those players are going to go today in the later round maybe. But it was a well-run event, certainly. People in Wisconsin are awesome, and Luke Karate put it all together, and everything is on time, and jerseys look great. It was very, very well done with some real talent. So I had been to the earlier one in Wisconsin, actually, and there were quite a few players that came back, and we found a lot of different age groups in that one, but again, well run, and we're going to try to do more of those. Actually, I think was one of the things we decided, right, Brendan?
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, tonight we're it's going to be kind of interesting given COVID and its impact. Obviously, in Canada, usually about 20% of this draft is Canadian. This year, that could be more or less. You can make an argument for or against. Most of Canada's been shut down. Western Canada had a little bit of a start, and then they shut down. Ontario's been shut down the whole year, and then Eastern Canada has been kind of hit and go. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. We didn't put players that are playing in Canada this year into our rankings because we just didn't think it was fair. We haven't seen them in a year. So we put them in separate rankings. We've got an Ontario top 185 Bantam report from last year. That's going to cover that landscape pretty well. We've got the WHL Draft top 300 from last year. Those Bantams out in Western Canada. So as Canadians come, you might have to give us a second to kind of look them up. But our focus for this ranking has been either American players or Canadian players that have played in the U.S. this year.
Exactly. And the other thing too, just to keep in mind is the fact that, it took a lot of hours and a lot of work for us to collectively put together that top 250 list. So Brendan, you've been working on that obviously for hours and hours to compile all of that. So can you talk a little bit about just some of the players and what regions that a lot of them are coming from that are going into that ranking list? And also, are there some things that stuck out to you about, maybe individual trends or, individual things like the number of positional players or just individual things that kind of stick out from building that list?
Yeah, I mean, every year is unique, where the talent pool is. I don't think there's, you've got the major markets, obviously Minnesota, Michigan, Massachusetts, but every year, some years New Jersey has a big year, some year like Chicago Mission had a really strong program, Chicago Young Americans, Team Illinois. So I wouldn't say it was any one specific spot. I think where it was challenging is the high schools, like in Minnesota, it was tough to get into those games. So we had to literally contact athletic directors to be able to get into some games. Some games we weren't able to go to, and we relied pretty heavily on live scouting. So for us, I think we had to really focus on the midgets. I think you saw that in NTDP camp. 40 of the 49 kids were midget players, where typically there's a lot more high school, prep school, kind of more of a spread. So I think we'll see a little bit of that in the draft tonight. And then in terms of making the list, it's, we started out with over 1,500 players, and we just keep trimming it and trimming it and trimming it. And it's a lot of work, and a lot of guys give up their weekends to go out and watch these players. So a huge thanks to our whole team all over the United States and usually Canada, but not this year.
Most definitely.
Yeah, Brendan goes into literally into his hole and hammers these things out, and it's a meticulous and intense process actually. And so he deserves a whole bunch of credit. I mean, the credit goes to the scouts ultimately. But his ability to sort of put all of these players together and trim it down to what we think are, the top 250 is difficult. So, he deserves a ton of credit. I mean, you don't see anybody else trying to do that, and because it's really, really hard. And we're not going to always be 100% right, but know that there's a lot of effort. We're not just throwing darts at the dartboard.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things with from a process standpoint, and this is where, and we talked about this with Ian and Ed and Murph. We're putting together our list based on what we see today. We're not making guesses at what the future is. And what I mean by that is you can project kids. You can see a tall, skinny kid who's really athletic and say, geez, he could be really special. So a USHL team might have him a lot higher than is on our board, because our board is looking at the here and now. So there'll be kids that are going to get drafted tonight that aren't on our 250 board. And those aren't mistakes. Like that's not, you wouldn't say, oh, geez, they really reached there. There's a lot of kids that aren't on this board that we really like collectively as a staff, but they're just not there yet. So we've always had a higher level of accuracy in picking where kids are today. Obviously, you factor in some upside pieces, but the more you go into the upside world, the more you go into guesswork, and you just lose some accuracy there. So that's where one way where you'll see some differences between our list and maybe some others. And I just want to kind of make that clear that, if your team tonight drafts some kids not on the board, and you think, geez, what the hell are they doing? They might know exactly what they're doing, and we might actually really agree and love the pick too. But that kid just at this stage in his development just isn't as far along as some of these other kids.
I think there's also the fact that, a lot of these teams, in the process of going through this USHL draft, it's really all about draft rights as well. So even if a player isn't coming out directly from wherever they're playing and coming directly into the league, it's a case where they believe so much in the player that they're picking them up so that they can come in a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever it is. So it's one of those things where it may not be an immediate payoff, but that's one of the things that, a lot of these GMs are thinking 1 to 2 years down the road as well. And I think you're going to probably see even more of that, especially in phase 2, where a lot of those players aren't necessarily in the 2005 age group, and you're going deeper and deeper into other lists to try to find who those players are. But switching gears really quickly, I think one thing, Brendan, that it's good to get some additional perspective as well, since we're still a few minutes away from the picks coming down. But I'm curious just to get your take also on the National Team Development Programs camp that was held just a couple of weeks ago. And obviously they've already sent out the invites for the U17 team. There's a lot of players from different areas across the U.S. that were given the invites, and you saw that list published a couple of weeks ago. I'm just kind of interested for your take on that camp, what you saw there, as well as the fact that many of those players aren't going to be featured tonight. So it's probably worth calling out, what they did over the course of the season that got them the look for the U17 team. Obviously, that's not even being involved tonight.
Yeah, no, for sure. NTP camp, like I mentioned earlier, it was very midget heavy this year. And there were some common themes like Boston Junior Eagles, Chicago Mission, Mid Fairfield were programs that pumped out a lot of kids. There was a couple like super teams in the midget world. There were some Minnesota High School, Shattuck St. Mary's had a bunch of players. Overall, I thought the talent level was weaker as a whole. There's not as much, like we don't have a 5-star on our list yet. Where some years past we've come in with 1, 2, or 3 5-stars. So I think at the top is a little thinner than normal. And then towards the bottom of that list, I think you're taking kids that bring some kind of dimension, like a power forward who's a big physical tough guy, or a speed winger that's flying up and down the ice. It looked like to me that's what they were trying to accomplish there, guys that brought a different element. But overall, it was well represented. You got guys from California, you got players from Dallas, Texas, you had players from the Northeast, Minnesota, Michigan, Chicago. I thought from that standpoint, the country was well represented.
Absolutely. And the other thing too, that's worth noting, just changing gears again really quickly. So first of all, it's worth that we should call out the fact that we already have about 375 people on the stream, which is pretty awesome considering that we haven't even seen the picks starting to drop yet. So it's awesome to have all of you on board and watching and tuning in, because I think we've got some pretty unique insights to be able to share here. And this is a pretty unique opportunity to get a firsthand look at some of the players going. And it is now official. We are now underway. The first pick has gone off the board. So I'm just going to switch over so we can take a look at who it was. And this is a player that I'm sure everyone probably has an immediate take on. It's William Whitelaw going to the Youngstown Phantoms. So who wants to tackle this one and take it first?
And you and Ian just saw him.
Yeah, we just saw him out in St. Louis at the 16 and 18 Nationals. He's playing up with the 18 team. Doesn't look out of place. Counted on to provide a lot of offense out there. Given every opportunity, he takes it, one speed, fast. Does everything fast, makes plays in transition, handles the puck well at speed, and just was all over the ice, high motor, and just aggressive.
Yeah, the thing I liked and came away with was at the end of the game when Shattuck was trying to protect the lead, he was out taking D zone faceoffs as the youngest kid in the tournament. I thought he was exceptional. Everything about him, I think he's a phenomenal player with a huge upside.
Yeah, Whitelaw, I would say for most people, that was the biggest kind of head scratcher out of NTP. Kid with tremendous pace. We've got him as a top 10 prospect on our board. He's a 4.5-star. I mentioned in a video earlier this week, the last 3 kids that have made NTDP as a minor midget age player have been Cam York, Oliver Wallstrom, and Maddox Fleming. So he's in very good company. I saw him play in the Elite League twice. He was outstanding. He can handle this level of competition at the USHL. He's indicated that he's going back to Shattuck, and that's awesome. But this is a kid who, if he wanted to, he could come in and play right away. There's very few players, I think, on the board that you could say that about.
Most definitely. And we have 2 more players that just went off the board. So first, Sioux Falls with the second pick took Will Mcdonough out of the Boston Advantage, player locally that I'm sure we've gotten eyes on multiple times. In addition to a couple of other picks here, Waterloo going with Joseph Willis and Lincoln going with Cooper Pearson, again out of Shattuck. So I'm curious who you guys want to tackle next as the next call out.
Yeah, I mean, Will Mcdonough as a kid, and I probably thought least of them of this group. I don't get to the Northeast very much because these guys cover it so well. Mcdonough I kind of had as like a 3.5, 3.75, and when I went out to national camp, he impressed me maybe more than anybody else in regards to what I thought going in. What I loved about his game is he started out that tournament a little slow. It's like he was trying to make some skill plays, and he figured it out. Like the second or third game, that I just got to go out and start hitting guys and playing my game. And when he did that, I mean, the goals started flowing. We gave him a B+, and he was a borderline A- at national camp. This is a kid who plays really hard. He knows what he is. He's physical. He brings that dimension. I did just see a tweet though that said he got invited to the national team, so I'm a little confused on that pick, but I could be wrong. Could be fake news.
Ian said to me yesterday he could go really high.
Yeah.
He's a kid that he plays the game simple, soft hands,
Smart,
quick
really
process.
smart kid, great brain, processes things really quickly. He's a
Exactly.
shooter, knows he's a shooter. He's a strong kid who's going to get stronger. I like him a lot. He's a really competitive kid.
Who do you
We have
got?
another pick off the board again with Des Moines. So AJ Kuzma just went as well, yet another center.
Yeah, Kuzma's interesting. Chicago Mission. He got hurt later in the year, and they actually hung his jersey on the bench at Nationals. Saw him earlier in the year, high skill guy, played with Carter Slaggers on the national team, and Perot, who's also on the national team. I think Kuzma probably would have been right there with him if he hadn't gotten hurt. So that's a smart pick. We had him a little later in our board, still a 4-star player, but just because we hadn't seen him, but that's a savvy pick. How about the guys earlier, Mark? I can't even read who went 3, 4, and 5.
Absolutely. So the number 3 pick was Joseph Willis from the Chicago Mission. The fourth pick was Cooper Pearson from Shattuck, and the 5th pick by Dubuque was Michael Burchell from CompuWare.
Okay, yeah, so we'll start with Joe Willis, another kid who got invited to the national camp, another kid who had a really strong performance. I think we gave him a B+. He got an A grade at nationals. Kid can play with a ton of pace. He's smart, makes really good reads. He's got soft hands, and he can snipe. So that's
He's slippery too.
Yeah,
More than
slippery.
slippery. He can make you miss anywhere on the ice and make something from nothing. So he'll be, that's what the USHL is all about. You don't get a ton of chances to make plays. He can make plays when they're there. No question.
Pearson, Cooper Pearson was another national camp invite. He's out of Shattuck St. Mary's. High skill, really quick, kind of a light on his feet, slippery guy. He's crafty, thinks the game with pace. Thought he had a really good showing there, and he also, we gave him an A grade at nationals as well. So that's a good pick as well. And then who'd you say? Sorry, Mark. Who was
Burchell.
Matt Burchell out of Honeybake. Honeybake won the national championship this year at U15s. They had a really strong team. It's really well coached.
So it was Michael Burchell from CompuWare that got taken.
Sorry. Got the wrong kid here. So I saw them out in the state tournament in Michigan. I actually got COVID right after that, so it wasn't a great trip.
Anyone that was there.
Yeah, sorry. He's a kid. He plays the game the right way. He's skilled. He's got some size. He makes a lot of plays. And then he was not at the combine.
He's a natural goal scorer. Takes hits to make plays. Sticks his nose in things. Knows how to get to the net. Knows where the action is. So yeah, it's the kind of player he is.
So we have a few more picks off the board. Hopefully, Brendan, this is a little bit easier to see. Just increase the font size here. But so Sioux City just took Brian Nicholas from Mid Fairfield off the board as well with the number 8
great pick.
Yeah, Mark's a big fan of Nicholas.
Love Nicholas. I know Moran feels the same way. We took some time on, was it in the fall, went and saw out to Selects Academy and saw a bunch of teams, and he was mid-Fairfield, played a game or a couple of games there one day, and he's just an athlete. He's long, he's wiry. His stride is really good. His hands are unbelievable. He picks pucks from the air. He can dangle, he can shoot it hard. Ian, you want to continue?
No, he's just a kid that has gotten better and better and continues to impress every time we see him.
Yeah,
He's an athlete. You can tell he's having fun when he's playing.
You could make an argument for him probably anywhere after one. It's
Yeah.
a really good pick there.
Then the
For
next, Ben Yurchuk. Ed, you just saw him.
Yeah, just saw him with the 60, playing up with the 16 Avalanche. They won the 16 national tournament. Puck possession kid, smooth with it. I noted that he changes speeds well, and it gives him some extra time and space to operate. And he had a ton of talent on that team. So he makes plays and constantly contributed out in St. Louis there.
Next up, we got Jason Shoggaby out of War Road, famous hockey town, USA. This is a highly skilled player. Part of drafting is obviously talent assessment, but another part would be, judging risk. I don't know if there's a lower risk in regards to, this is a kid who's done it at the highest levels. This guy, pretty much a point per game at the elite league, at 50 points in high school hockey. He's played against bigger players, stronger players, high-end skill. Thought at the national camp, he didn't play as hard as I would have liked to have seen. That's where I think he dropped. But he went into national camp for us as a top 10 guy. He's a 4.25 star, top 20 talent for sure. I think Green Bay is very lucky to get him at this stage in the draft. Next up, Nick Fascia, who's also at the National Development Camp, really athletic defenseman. Ed, you just saw him.
Yep.
What'd you think of him?
He's on that Avalanche team as well. Athletic defenseman, moves well, good first step to escape pressure. I thought he retrieved pucks well. And then, wheeled his net and either found his winger or, took ice available to him and pushed the pace through the neutral zone. So, athletic kid that's going to move the puck and get you out of your own end.
What I liked about Nationals is he got the puck and he went north with it. He didn't bring it back into his own end and waste time. He got it and boom, it was transition. It was time to go. There was no wasted movement or effort out of it.
Next up, Drew Stewart. Love this pick. Drew was up for Bantam Player of the Year. We saw them earlier in Minnesota Blue Hawks, hosted by Youth Hockey Hub. They do a fantastic job. Sometimes the Bantam players get lost in this draft. It's not really fair. Some of the high schools that these kids come out of are so stacked, and they want older players. Maybe they're competing for a state championship. So Drew Stewart's a top line kid on a lot of Minnesota high school teams. Just happens to be from Minnetonka. Highly skilled puck possession player. He's smart. He's quick. Makes excellent decisions at pace. A little undersized. He's late 05, but this is a kid who's got tons of ability. Then almost the opposite type player. The next pick, Chase Pearl, big, strong, physical, north-south. Athletic, and you guys it's another Avalanche. It's the third Avalanche kid off the board in the top 16.
Yeah. Those kids played hard. They get great coaching, and these three definitely did an unbelievable job along with Musty. They were fun to watch in the tournament. Pirtle's a big, strong kid. Competes. He can lower his shoulder and get to the net even against the older kids. I think this is a real smart pick.
Yeah, he can catch and shoot. Even last weekend in Wisconsin, I thought the New Jersey Avalanche kids, North Jersey Avalanche kids were good.
Yeah, for sure.
The middle of their roster and really made some names for themselves. So
they always play hard, those kids.
I think we're up to Zach Sharp here from Mission.
Yeah, Zach Sharp is a very elusive, mobile, fluid skating defenseman. He's smart, manages the gap well. He moves pucks right on the tape. He's not someone that's wasting his time out there trying to dangle guys. He makes a smart play. He got an A grade at Nationals, or an A-, I think. He was a national camp. He played well there. He's got a little bit of an understated style. He's not someone that flashes, but really smart, really good player.
We got Connor Brown.
Yep.
He was next, right?
Yep.
Out of
Florida Lions.
Yeah, Florida Lions, a dynamic playmaker. He's explosive. Love his game. Have for a couple of years. He can do anything on the ice, and he's sort of the opposite. He is flashy. He's got some flash, some flair. You'd be on the edge of your seat with him, and a lot of talent. Also, besides when he has the puck, he's good on PK. He can be used in all situations, and as players move up into these drafts, even if you are a top 20, 25 pick, some people, you have to change the way you play a little bit. He'll be able to do that. So flash and flair with the ability to help kill penalties, block shots, and clog lanes in his end.
Yeah, I think Connor Brown's a good example of when you're picking a team. He was a little bit of a surprise he wasn't at national camp, but they have a lot of players like him. And so, but I bet you, I don't know this, I'm not giving inside information. I'm just saying, I bet USA Hockey thinks he's higher than he is. They just had a lot of skilled, fast, explosive forwards. So some of the other guys they try to bring to camp. But for us, we have him as a top 25 player.
Yeah, no question.
And he's exciting to watch. Like Murph said, he'll put you on the edge of your seat. Next guy, Daschle Oliver. This was one of my favorite kids at the the U15 Nationals down in Dallas, Texas. I'm not surprised to see him go here. Lincoln was well represented down there. If you saw him there, you'd have a very high opinion of him. I will say earlier in the year, we had him as kind of a 3.5, 3.75. He climbed up big time going to Nationals. What the scouts in the USHL are going to love about this kid is he's got such balance, edge control. He's tough. He plays hard. He can play power play. He can play penalty kill, anywhere up and down the lineup. That kind of versatility is what these USHL guys are looking for, because even when we get into the later rounds here, 7th round, 8th round, 9th round, 10th, these are a lot of the best players on their teams. So the ability for a USHL team to take a guy, know that, hey, I can throw him on the 4th line, I can throw him up on the 1st line if someone gets hurt. That's what Daschle Oliver can do. That's a really smart pick by Lincoln. Next up, Lucas St. Louis. Ian, you've seen this guy?
Yeah, it's just
Lucas.
I see he's poised with the puck. He's really patient. He's smart. He knows that not every play has to be a home run. He's willing to make the smart play and just a quick up if need be. I think he defends better than people give him credit for, because I think he's got quick feet and great anticipation. Obviously, with his family, he's talked hockey a ton while he's growing up. He's just a kid I think is going to do really well and play for a long time.
Hunter Henderson, we'll get us caught up here.
Hunter Henderson's out of Shattuck St. Mary's. I believe he was the leading scorer for them. Trying to see where.
Yeah, he can score.
Where I've got him on the rankings. Hold on 1 second. Follow up on. Okay. So we've got him as a 4-star out of Shattuck St. Mary's U15 team. He was an A- at Nationals. Put up 78 points in 44 games. He's poised, skilled, vision, playmaker, really high IQ. So that's 2 high IQ guys off the board. Go back on St. Louis. St. Louis, I think, is one of the smartest defensemen that I saw this year. Physically, not quite there yet. He's undersized, still growing into his body. But he's somebody that, like Ian said, the more you watch him, the more you appreciate him. He's got the details to the game. He was at national camp. He played very well, and he was excellent at nationals as well.
Honestly, I think he understands that he doesn't have to make the stretch pass or hit the home run on every play. He's smart enough to know that just chunking it out and biding time and waiting for the other team's mistake and the other team's open ice, that he can hit somebody, in space to create an odd-man rush. He does that really, really well. He doesn't force anything.
Yep. Glass note, it's an easy game.
Glass is your friend.
It is. Glass is always your friend.
Next guy up, we've got Ty Hansen. This is another kid who was invited to national camp. Really balanced, really strong on his edges. Again, another guy who's coming out of high school hockey, played with Hermantown. So you're getting somebody that's a little more battle-tested with older players. Right shot D, which is tough to find. It was kind of funny. We were updating profiles and getting set up for this. And I think I had him in at 5'5", 135 pounds. Must have been from when he was a Bantam. And right now he's at 5'9", 170. So this kid's, growing, getting stronger, faster, and he's got a really well-rounded game. He can play some offense. He did that at the high school level. But I thought at national camp he kind of calmed down, made smart decisions. So then we've got
We're caught up.
Cameron Breer, another kid that went to national camp. This kid can snipe it. He had some highlight reel goals there. I haven't watched him very much. That was my first viewing. But Ed and Ian, you guys saw him at national?
Yeah.
You saw more than I did.
Yeah, and I only saw him for one game because he got kicked out of, and then suspended for a game, the second game. But plays with an edge a little bit. So he had the skill. He scored a goal in his first game against the Avalanche. I thought he was pretty explosive. He ended up, getting to the neutral zone quickly, catching a stretch pass, going in on a breakaway and scoring. But also, not afraid to get to the dirty areas, play physical, and mix it up.
Yeah, I thought the same. He's really strong on the puck. He can make plays in traffic, which is a skill you're going to need to have to play in this league. Okay, next up, Danny Nelson. Here's another guy, another Bantam. Loving to see these Minnesota Bantams come off the board. He's another guy I believe was up for Player of the Year. He's Henry Nelson, his younger brother, Notre Dame commit out of Maple Grove High School. This guy, he did really well in the Bantam Elite League. That's where we first caught him. He's fast. He's got smooth hands. He's got long strides. He skates actually a lot like his brother. This is a nice pick. Next, go ahead.
Goes to the net too. It's important. All you young players out there, go to the net. Go to the net.
Chicago Steel here makes another splash. They did this last year. Ryan Hardy's getting known for this. They were able to take Adam Fantilli out of was projected as the #1 pick in the Western League, in the OHL. He was a 5-star kid. Nobody was looking for his name on draft day. Chicago went, got him, and he played the season, and he was MVP in the playoffs as an underager. Graydon Slippick could be the same thing. This is a rare prospect out of BWC, Burnaby Winter Club. He was the highest rated guy outside of Connor Bedard for the 05 Western League draft. Not a lot this guy can't do. He can fly, he's strong, he competes, he's a shooter. If he goes to Chicago, this is probably the best kid in this age group. Next up, Finn Brink. Murph's one of his favorite players ever would have been Finn's older brother, Bobby Brink.
Bobby Brink is going to be a
Brink.
star in the NHL. In other words, I saw him play in front of 20,000 people and dominate the Minnesota high school.
So you know about Finn?
At 16 years old. Finn Brink, I believe I know a little bit of. Wow.
So Finn played high school this year for Maple Grove. That's a stacked team. We gave him high grades throughout the season. He's 10 points in 18 games. He's a well-rounded player, shields the puck well, he works the cycle. He's got a quick, powerful release. And to be able to, Maple Grove was a top 10 team, you could say top 5 team in the state. And you're not seeing a lot of 05s, as you've already seen 2 Bantam players get taken off the board. So it says a lot that Finn can play at that level, play at the high school levels in 05 and make an impact on a top team.
They played the point of the power play a little bit. So it says a lot about the coaches, trusting him, and especially at that age. So
next up, Logan Ronkowski out of Mid-Fairfield. They had a very talented team. We have him in as a 3.75. It could be low for him, but maybe he was a little overshadowed by a really talented roster. He's a smart player. He's got good first touches, quick release guy. He's explosive, can create separation, and his motor's always going. So
I was on the ice with Ronkowski 4 or 5 times last summer, and my belief is that he's higher than a 3.75. He's on a team with some higher names or bigger names, but in the long run, when it all comes out, I think he's a smart player. He's competitive, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder or something to prove. He was a kid I loved being on the ice with last summer.
Awesome, great stuff, Ian. Next up, Brandon Swabota. This kid's interesting. Swabota, and I'd say we're probably in between. Talking to some people at the national camp, after games and stuff, the coaches will kind of talk about, who they like. There's people that think Swabota is top 20 player. We have him ranked 40th. And that includes the national kids, so like 40th would probably be, top 20 here. He's got exceptional hands, very skilled player. He's got size, protects the puck well. Needs a little bit of work on the foot speed, especially like first step quickness, but upside is really high on him because of the skill set that he has as a puck protection skill guy.
It's also just to toss one other thing in there, Brendan. So in terms of Brendan Swabota, so he was one of our top players that we evaluated back at the USHL Showcase about a year and a half ago out in Pittsburgh. So he was probably our third or fourth top forward, aside from the Ryan Fines and the Will Smiths and those folks from the 05 group. He was head and shoulders almost literally above many of the other players because of his size, but his athleticism and at that point he had some decent quickness, but you could tell that his brain was ahead of a lot of the other players who were playing at that event. He just knew where to make that next instinctual play. So just to toss that in there in terms of his development.
Yeah. Next up, Kai Matthews, from NAX. Saw this kid a bunch in his draft year last year, 4.25 star. He was the 27th overall player in our Western draft rankings. Again, this is, like we said with Slipik, if you can get this kid, he's tall, he's a smooth skater, he can shoot the puck, wins battles. He's a top round WHL kind of player. So that'd be a steal if Sioux Falls can get him.
Committed to Denver, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah, that's what we have. I'm not totally sure on that, but you know how those things change. But we have him committed to Denver, so that would indicate that he wants to go that route, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody should understand it's not always that simple, and there's a lot of they call them placeholders and a lot of stuff that goes on. But usually these teams, and I don't know who made this pick, but I know they do their homework. So he's really good.
Next up, Teddy Townsend. He won the Bantam Player of the Year in the state of Minnesota. When I saw him at Blue Ox, I was blown away. He was the only A+. It's one of the few that I've given this year. Granted, I get it's against Bantams and they were younger players, but this kid's got wheels. He shoots to score. He can dangle. He can go wide and cut in. There's very little that this guy can't do. Exceptional speed and pace to his game. He's a possession player. He doesn't just throw pucks away when he gets pressured. That's a very astute pick by Waterloo, and that's a third Minnesota Bantam off the board.
Yeah.
So again, like we were saying earlier, this year's a little different. In high school hockey was tough to get in for. To see 3 Bantams come off the board is pretty interesting. And we've seen 2 Western Canadians off the board already too. Okay, next up, Francois de Villers, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Yeah.
Culver kid, very athletic, strong skating D-man. And did you see him out in the 18? Oh, he's 18, yeah. Sorry. So he was at national camp. He got an invite. He's very athletic. He plays hard. You could definitely understand why he was at camp. He's someone that pushes other guys on the team. He's got a physical edge to him, and he's got good instincts. He's an athlete. And he plays like one. Next up, and I believe, Murph, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first player out of the combine, out of the USHL Combine.
The Villiers, yeah.
Reeder.
James Reeder. Yep.
James Reeder is another guy like Daschle Oliver that we mentioned earlier that made a big splash at the Nationals in Dallas, Texas. There were times where he was their best forward, and if you saw that Chicago U15 team, that's saying a lot. That's a really talented team. He's got a lot of pace to his game, plays hard, and then he went to the USHL Combine where we just saw him last week, gave him an A grade there. So that's our first. Sometimes the old adage was that the USHL Combine was for like kids at the bottom of the draft. Well, you just saw him go 35th overall. It's a smart pick. and I think you're going to see a lot more coming off the board.
Yeah, he just solidified what he had done at Nationals. And I think he's got ice in his veins. He had 2-on-1, and he just took the shot, ping off the bar and in, so he can score. He's a sniper for sure. Really liked him. I had him as a top 12 player there for sure.
Next up, we're coming out of Western Canada yet again. Walker Geldbar. We had him as the 80th overall player in the WHL draft last year. We have not seen him this year. When we saw him, he was playing for West Van. I have to look up. I haven't seen him.
Looks he's grown a little bit. He's 6'3" now, right?
Yeah.
Last time we saw him, he was 5'8", 5'9". So.
Last report we have on this is great hockey IQ, good jump in the opening ice, making plays, patient with the puck, forces opponents either way out of position, showed good stability on his skates and being hard to bump off the puck.
No, is that in the BCHL this year? Yes, I think so.
No.
He's playing U18.
Oh yeah, he jumped up. Yeah.
Cranbrook.
Yeah, got some games with the
Cranbrook, and we saw him out there recently, so that's the most recent report.
Yeah, interesting.
That's high level stuff from 05.
Noah Ziski, next guy off the board was, I don't actually know, no, he wasn't at, I don't think he was at the combine. Ziski plays for Oakland Junior Grizzlies. He was a B. We gave him a B at the Mass State Tournament. Big, strong, physical guy, but he can also quarterback the power play. He's got a two-way game, and he was the captain of the team. So I'm not as familiar with Ziski's game, but that's what we have for him. And then Tyler Pettle. I mean, this kid can play. And did you see him at the Nationals?
Yeah, he was our highest rated 05 at the 16 Nationals. He got an A- grade.
Yeah, it's 4.25 star.
Yeah, just long player, uses his reach and size well, but moves really well right now for a bigger kid through the neutral zone, attacks defenders directly, just super confident with the puck, and holds the puck, waits for the right option to open before zipping the pass through, which is consistent is one of the words I use for him out there. Always a threat, a threat to create offense out there.
Yeah, 31 goals.
Yeah.
For Shattuck, 16.
Shooter too.
It's a lot of goals.
Next up, Nathan Murray. Let's see, we've got Chicago takes Nathan Murray. So actually, it's interesting. If Nathan Murray has a little bit of Jackson Blake in him, who they took last year, scored there 2 years ago, was it? Yeah, 2 years ago. Nathan Murray has got great wheels. He's got a great accelerator. He can pull away from guys. Thinks the game at pace. Smart. Had a really good USA Hockey Nationals U15s. He had 5 goals. And then he got invited to National Development Camp, and he was good. He's excellent in space. Another guy that all of his skills he can utilize at full speed, which not a lot of players can do that at this age anyways. So they're up next. They take Miles Roberts, big athletic netminder, edgy. Was he at Nationals? Was that Anaheim at Nationals?
Yeah, he was. And he's counted on a lot at Nationals, takes a lot of shots. In one game, 0-0 game, no time left on the clock, or no, 1-0 game, no time left on the clock. He stopped a penalty shot to give his team the win, 1-0. So, good under pressure. But yeah, big kid for a young kid, and just, beat up pucks.
You're right, catcher? Right?
Yeah, the opposite way, right?
Yeah. Messes with you. Mess with you, Ian?
Yeah. It depends.
It depends. Create rebounds.
Next, we got Nick Mettelkin. Saw this kid earlier in the year at the Play Hockey Championships. I think it was in Philly or Pittsburgh. I'm not quite sure. I basically live out of a suitcase. But it's a good tournament. He's their leading scorer. He's all over the place. Works really hard. He's got a rocket for a shot. He works to get open. 42 goals in 52 games. Gives you some indication of what he can do. But yeah, liked his game. He's got a work ethic to go with his goal scoring ability. Next up, we got Gavin Reed. Gavin's a kid, also another kid who played high school and on a very talented team, which tells you a lot. He's strong. He's good with the puck. He's athletic. He only played one game at the national camp. I think he was hurt. But we have him as a 4-star and just really athletic, good two-way defenseman.
David Klee. He's a big-bodied forward. He's got great speed. He's able to control the puck at top speed. Uses reach to protect. Makes smart plays with the puck.
He's good on draws.
Yeah.
Nationals, he was very good at draws.
Dominant on the face-off dot. Draws players to him, dishes it, or he can take the shot. So he's one of those guys again that can evolve and start to play all different situations, different.
He looked bigger than 6 feet at nationals. I can tell you that. I would
Did he?
have thought he was 6'1" or taller.
It's possible we don't have it right. I mean, 20,000 profiles. But we got.
No, I was just going up
Yeah.
with the USHL.
Oh, is that what they have now?
Six.
Okay.
I mean, he looked taller than that. He's
Yeah.
definitely long. He's got a great reach, but I just remember him being really good on draws and very dependable.
Yeah, and he'll just drag right at the deep. He'll just bully his way to the net. Like that. I like him.
So far we're at 43 picks. We're seeing, all sorts of different types of players. You get some speed guys, some power forwards, some shutdown D, some athletic 2-way D. Looks like we've got some Western Canadians, Michigan, Minnesota, a little bit of everything. Brandon Hilton goes to Madison. Brandon Hilton, big, power forward, strong. Says 5'9", 165, but he's bigger than that. He's a goal scorer. He was excellent at the state tournament. I think he got an A- grade there. And then he went to nationals. They won the national championship. He plays a winning style. He battles for pucks. He's not the sexiest player, but he's somebody that goes hard to the net, takes pride in it, finishes. He's a perfect fit for the USHL.
Values possession. I think valuing possession is sexy myself.
There you go.
Yeah, I do. I want to win.
Next up, Jason Zakari out of Tabor Academy. You guys
Yeah, I
know
played
this
with the Eagles 05 crew this past year. He's an excellent passer, ton of poise with the puck. He can make plays from behind the net, hit the stretch guy, and he can do it consistently. Hitting the guy in stride. Before this year, didn't know a whole lot about him, but I saw him play probably 6-7 times. Every time he was the same. Ton of poise, move the puck, great passer.
Nice.
From California, right?
Yep.
He's originally Santa Ana. Yeah.
He's not a guy I've seen, so that's
Yeah, he does a lot of little things to
He's an
help his
excellent
team win.
passer.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Next up, Kyle Kim, another national champion out of Detroit Honeybake. He's interesting. He's smooth. He's athletic. He's very good on the breakout. Gets back, retrieves pucks. One of these guys that can take it, pick it, turn it up ice, and move it. Doesn't have to overhandle it. Doesn't have to, expose the puck to forecheckers. Liked his game a lot, and then followed up this state tournament, a strong state tournament performance with played well at nationals as well. Coach trusts him. You can see him on the ice in key moments. That was Honeybaked was an awesome example this year, winning the national championship, where you had some teams there that had, Chicago Mission, I think it's 4 guys on the national team, a lot of early picks. Fairfield had a bunch of national camp kids, a bunch of early picks, and they were great too. I think they both made the semis. But Honeybake plays the game the right way. They play to win. They stop on pucks. They go to the net. They finish checks. They're disciplined, and they were very deserving. Weren't the most talented team there, but those kids are well coached and they play the game the right way. I think you'll see a lot of Honeybake kids coming off the board tonight. Oh, caught up.
No.
Okay.
Tanner Brunder.
Chaska, another Bantam player, another kid I think that was up for Bantam Player of the Year. That Chaska team, they won. I think they won Battle of the Blue Ox. They actually have some 06s on that team that are pretty special too. And actually Sachin's younger brother, Grayson Sachin's younger brother, who was on, made the national team. His younger brother's on that team. He might be even better than the older brother. So this kid is mobile, athletic. He's got a hard release. He's a shoot first kind of guy. He competes really hard. 36 goals in 38 games. And he got an A- grade at Battle of Blue Rock. So,
does this seem like a lot of Minnesota players to you this early? No,
it's a lot of Minnesota Bams. I mean, usually you're going to see high school kids off the board, but I think because same situation we ran into, same situation that USHL guys are running into, just couldn't get eyes on some of these guys. There's some guys later in our list that we have as kind of 3.5s. There's a couple of 3.25s that didn't make our list that I think in a normal year would have been much higher on our board. But just being frank, we didn't get to see him. So it's hard to gauge a guy when you only see him once all year. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of Bantams come off the board. It's a lot easier to go into the Bantams, and it's showing that Minnesota obviously does a good job of developing those young guys like Brunder. Chaska had a good high school team this year, but I mean, I wonder, Brunder maybe could have played high school. I mean, I don't know that, so I don't want to speak out of. Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, he's 8th grade.
Well, it looks like he's born in December.
Oh yeah, okay, so there you go. I was gonna say he's probably good enough to play at the high school level.
So they're playing Bantam. That means they're September birthday. So they're still in 8th grade and they're not in high school.
Right. Wondering if that's the case with Stewart.
So who do we have highest right now that's on the board?
Our best available right now, according to the our U.S. list, would be let's see, Paddlewen, Mania. Well, Mania was a tender. Ryan Smith out of Buffalo Junior Sabres would be the highest guy left. Carter Davis out of Elk River High School. Luke McNamara out of Bishop Kearney. Those would be the top guys that haven't gone yet. Did Ty Hendricks, did he go?
No, Ty Hendricks, I think, is the highest.
Okay, Jack Wilson. Like we said, we're going to see a lot of Honey Bay kids coming off the board. I really like Jack Wilson. I actually thought he might go to national camp. He just has that, but he's a left shot D, and there was a ton of left shot D there. So, he ran into a kind of a stacked group there. But Wilson is highly, highly intelligent, puck-moving defenseman. A lot of the offense ran through him. Schultz, who made the national team, was also on that team, and Schultz gets a lot of the credit, but in a lot of key situations, you see Wilson out there. I like both those kids a lot. They're different styles, but Wilson's he's just so smart, composed with the puck, makes excellent decisions. I really, really like. He's a kid that I think we have as a four-star player, but he's somebody that is flirting with that 4.25. I'll speak of the devil. Our highest ranked guy, Ryan Smith, just came off the board. For some reason, this kid is he's not getting a lot of talk about, but I mean, every tournament we go to, he's getting an A rating. That Buffalo team's better than people realize, and this he's the kid. So great speed. He handles the puck at speed. He can shoot it too. He can snipe. He can pick corners. But I just love the pace at which he plays and the IQ that he has. He doesn't have to slow it down to figure it out. He can do everything top speed.
He's tough. He's tough to play against. He's on you right away. He'll pick your pocket and take it right to the net. What?
Oh, yes, okay. Okay. Lucas Barnes. This is a kid, not Lucas Barnes, Drew Barnes. Drew Barnes, sorry. Tough time seeing this. He is out of, was he at the Combine?
You think he was. He's out of Milwaukee, I believe.
Yeah, Milwaukee guy. Murph had him as a top 25 guy at the Combine. He was Broser, he was number 5. Chris passer, carries up the ice, picks out passes, size, anticipation, passes, and playmaker. This is the first time I saw him was at the Combine. Again, this is another guy that, not to push the Combine on people, but I would have never seen this kid if it wasn't for the Combine. I didn't see Milwaukee this year. They had a bunch of kids that were at the Combine, and this is obviously a guy who Combine helped him out.
And he misses shin pads from the point, creates shooting lanes, doesn't get pucks blocked, just does, again, a lot of little things right. showed very well in Wisconsin. So.
Next up, Joey Gramer. We have a pretty high rank on this guy. He's a 4-star. And one of the reasons is he's a very he's a smart D. He's no panic on the breakout. And I liked how, we gave him an A at the Minnesota State tournament. Played against, good team. They got knocked out early, but he's a really smart player. He's composed. Like I said, there's no panic when he's got 4 checkers on him. He waits and makes the direct pass. He's not one of these guys that wings it up the boards. He's balanced. He's one of the more junior-ready players. Like Mark said earlier in the call, this draft, the Phase 1 draft, isn't for filling holes. Phase 1 draft is typically pick the best player available that fits your system or your culture. So these guys are a year or 2 away. But Gramer's a kid that I wouldn't be surprised if he saw some games because he's got the build for it. He's strong enough. He plays a detailed game, so a coach could trust putting him out there.
Christian Kim next, right?
Another 4-star, no, 375.
Small.
Yeah,
Still small.
He was out of the Nationals too, with the Ducks, who I think they surprised a lot of people out there. They had a lot of kids in that team, 04s and some 05s that could really play. He's small. I think he's listed 5'7", maybe 5'8", but can scoop. He kept his feet moving, a little bit of perimeter, but I think this is some upside. Is that when he gets stronger and when he starts playing more towards the interior of the ice, he has the grit and some of the skill that he can make things happen.
Works hard too, back to his end. And,
obviously he's an undersized D. I've only seen this kid once, so
yeah.
And so you know him better than I do. But
Great.
For an undersized D to play up a level and to produce, that's a good sign. If you have reservations on the size. Next guy, Ethan Gardula.
Cushing Academy kid, played for the Junior Eagles. Spent a lot of time on the wing playing with Will Smith for the national team. He's a kid. He's gotten bigger and gotten better every year over the last 12 to 18 months. A ton of poise with the puck. As this split season went on, the kids in the Northeast that play split season hockey with the prep school. He showed more poise with the puck and was willing to and able to slow it down and pick up and change space through the neutral zone. He's a kid who has a lot in front of him and a nice upside.
Also worth noting with on Gardula, the fact that he was just at the Massachusetts Festival last weekend and earned a national camp selection to go to the Select 16s.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, come see us at Buffalo. We'll be in the RV in the parking lot. The national camp.
Who's RV?
Well, we're going to get one. Put fat heads on it. All of our heads.
So get a subscription so we can
so we can afford
an RV.
What's going to happen, really?
Next guy up is Damon Bickler out of Fargo. This is a guy that
I like
him a lot.
Yeah, and I saw him. He played for Texas, right? He's a really, really athletic player, right defenseman. There's moments where you don't know what position he's playing. He's one of those guys like Seamus Casey, right? Like he's up the ice so much, which is fine because he's got the speed to get back. Transition back to front, he's really good. Can carry it, creates zone entries, brings people to him, dishes it off. He's a player that, again, I noticed with Dallas and then the first combine in Wisconsin, and I don't think he was at the last one, right? But he's a player that he's really good. And I think he's grown some. Flower Mound, Texas. Sounds like a nice place, actually. Flower Mound, Texas.
Next guy up, we got Harper Searles out of Centennial High School. This is a guy that he's fluid, very fluid skater, quick in transitions. He wins puck battles. He's got good hockey sense. And again, as a late 05, playing Minnesota high school, that's quite a feat. So you're getting a guy who's played against older competition. And Mark, you had him as a B+ in his Bantam year at the U14s. I don't know if you remember that kid or not.
Yeah, vaguely I do. He had a strong effort at the USHL showcase. I'm trying to remember how well his team fared there. I don't recall how deep they got into the finals, but like I thought that he was really solid. I'm also in the process of trying to call that up to see if I can recall it off the top of my head, but I just remember Hunter in particular being a real puck hunter, and I just, in particular, he was great at starting the transition, and I just also remember him just being able to drive the net pretty effectively. It was a really solid grade. That Minnesota Blaze team that he was on was pretty well stacked, one of the better teams at the showcase, so not overly surprising that he's continued to grow and continued to build on his game from there.
Yep. Next up, Charlie Lewinsky. I'm looking at his report right in front of me. He's A- at Nationals, A- at Michigan State Tournament, A- at the USHL. So you're getting a guy who's consistent, big, strong, power forward. He plays both ends of the ice. He's got a rocket first shot, north-south type player. He's got deceptive speed. We have him as a 3.75, but he's a bubble 3.75 4-star kid. He's somebody that have with CompuWare made Nationals. He's a kid that I think jumped on the screen. I know that at the state tournament, people knew him and were up on him, but I think people, for whatever reason, didn't think he could play with the pace. And at Nationals, he showed he could. So I'm not surprised to see him go this early to Muskegon.
Drew Mackey, another player.
Other Shattuck guy off the board.
Be it Nationals, savvy puck mover, vision, awareness, and you saw him more recently. So
yeah, game to be at Nationals. It's a high IQ. He's a heady player. Vision, soft hands. Makes good first touches. Gets back to pucks really well. And I like that he's not overly physical at this point. He's still growing into his frame, but he's good at lifting sticks around the net. He keeps his head on a swivel. Kind of a detailed guy. Little under the radar, so kind of a smart pick there by Des Moines to appreciate kind of the subtleties of his game. Next up, another Chicago Mission. We're going to be saying that all night. This was a really talented team. Just pulling them up here because I think I remember. I think he was
Fisher.
15. Oh, no, sorry, this was the defenseman.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, I was thinking of forward.
Two-way guy.
Yeah, B+ at Nationals, big, versatile, two-way forward. He's like teammate Fisher, who for us is a top 5 player in this group. He's athletic. He skates with power. He's got a big slap shot, heavy one-timer. So consistent presence. His game will translate well at the USHL level. Another guy that could probably play earlier than some of the other kids above him. And then Jordan Goodridge out of Colorado Thunderbirds. I did not see that team, so some of you guys have or not.
I don't know that I did not share, but I can see what we had.
Sorry, Jordan, I just haven't seen you this year. Next up is Colin Emery out of Reading High School. Massachusetts kid. Ian, do you know him?
Where have you got him? Colin Emery.
Yeah, I've always liked him. Been with the Eagles. Not out of place. Playing high school hockey at all. He was dominant at the MIA level. Tough.
Ton of swagger.
Yeah,
ton of swagger.
Yeah.
He
walks in the.
He's
right
always
way
got something going on.
Yeah.
He's involved in the game, whether it be making plays or being physical or yapping. He's a fun kid to watch. He always has stuff going on.
No, he's a really, really solid player. I really like his game a lot. He's related to Bob Emery from Plattsburgh and now Merrimack.
Yep.
It's funny because Bob Emery grew up in Somerville.
Really?
And that's where we are right now.
Oh, who knew? Lead the circle.
We're not going to tell you where in Somerville because
Circle of
we're worried about our safety, but we're here.
Also worth noting on Colin Emery, he's going to be featured pretty prominently in our upcoming select camp for Mass Festival. He was one of the top 2005s on the ice in evaluation and unsurprisingly earned an invite to national camp. He was one of the better forwards there, one of the better players across any age group among the 05s and beyond. The thing that I love about his game is the fact that he was just consistently going straight for the net. He was always in attack mode. It was really impressive to watch him there. And he's even, made a jump from last year to this year. It's been pretty impressive what he was able to do. And it wouldn't surprise me from a Mass high school perspective if, he makes a run at our Mr. Hockey Award next year.
Yeah. I mean, he's a player that to me, has the skill, the toolbox to do any type of thing on the ice, play any kind of game.
He's very impactful.
He impacts if he doesn't score. And, again, to reiterate, as you move up in levels, you're not always going to be the goal scorer. At some point that maybe stops happening for you, but what else can you do for me? What have you done for me lately? And he's going to be able to do a lot, and in different situations. But his upside is huge.
Next off the board, we got Daniel Johnson out of Chicago Young Americans. They made a strong run there at the U15 Nationals. Gave some teams some good games. So it's a talented team. You saw Stratham came off as a tender to, I think it was not Fargo, Stratham, Tri-City, I think, Stratham, the defenseman. This is their other top D, Daniel Johnson. Murph, what do you like about him?
He's multi-purpose. He's a versatile D-man. He's got a skilled game. He's strong on his edges. He can knock opponents off their skates. He's excellent defending below the dots. He understands leverage, which we may talk about as we get into the later rounds, and some of those maybe smaller defensemen come off the ice and how important that is. One of our scouts, it wasn't me, wrote John Shagier's name called in the OHL or USHL drafts, given his rare combination of compete, toughness, skating ability, athleticism, and skill.
There you go. I think other than we have one player left on our top 50, Chris O'Flaherty out of Chicago Young Americans.
Well, the Chicago Young Americans are retired. They are going to be no more, which is, so just a tip of the cap. I forget the guy who's involved in, his family was in Topher Scott, I believe. His family was involved in starting that program, and it's been an excellent, superb program in the Chicago area, and they're going to turn it into the Windy City Storm, and be sort of a minor league for the Tri-City Storm going forward. So it's interesting change, and always love their uniforms, really love their name. So, rest in peace.
Next name, I'm never going to get this name right, but Jacob Jastrzebski. Anyways, again, another Chicago Mission kid off the board. He played with, at Nationals, they kind of switched up the lines at times because they were struggling to find some offense at times. They were putting him with Willis and Slager. They put him in with Perot a couple times. It's a guy who, he got a national camp invite to out of Illinois. So we'll be seeing him in Buffalo this summer. Quick skate, quick feet, quick hands, does everything in pace. Really good one-on-one. Can make guys miss. Really like this pick. I think he's a little bit underrated. Like we talked about with some other guys that are on super talented teams, and you get caught watching their, top two lines, and this kid can play.
We have Griffin Erdmann, who was listed as being with the Avalanche, but it was at Deerfield, at least we saw them play online a scrimmage early in the year as prep schools sort of balanced trying to get some games in for these kids and some work and broadcasting it out so people could watch. But we watched it, and he was the only 2005 that we noticed. I think Mark, you may have watched this game. Does that sound familiar?
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. I remember basically with him, the big thing is that he was playing against a lot of bigger, stronger players, in that scrimmage game. But the thing that was interesting about him is that he always found a way either to get possession of the puck, to attack the zone, with speed. He was great coming over the red line, attacking and putting defenders on their heels. Really shifty, tough to get a hold of, tough to contain for an entire game. That was kind of the bottom line with him.
He's got Jersey mentality. He goes to tough areas, risky areas, and wins pucks too. But yeah, we're seeing these guys when we can. So it's a nice pick.
I saw him at the Nationals. Same thing you guys are saying. High motor, high energy, goes to the tough areas, plays a 200-foot game, earned a B grade at U15 Nationals. Okay. Next up, Wyatt Olson. another Maple Grove High School kid. I think he just got in for the Minnesota camp for Buffalo. I think I just saw his name.
We'll be there.
But if not, we did see him at the Combine. Big, strong, works the cycle well. He got some games this year with the high school team. He got 5 games. Quick release, moves it quick, mature overall game. So again, I think with Olson, I didn't see him when I went and watched Maple Grove this year. I saw him in the playoffs. I don't believe he was playing. So again, USHL Combine, I keep saying it. It's a great opportunity for these kids to get noticed. This is another kid off the board that, you know, we have in our top, our top 200 rankings, and we wouldn't have had him probably if we didn't go to that event. So for the 06s out there, if you're looking for tournaments the next year, I would highly recommend, because these guys are getting picked. We got another one.
Congrats to Luke.
McCormick.
Luke Karate.
Oh, yeah.
Does a great job at the USHL. Lucky to have.
Next up, Carter McCormick. He's a national camp kid. He plays for Detroit Little Caesars, but he's actually, I think he's in California or no, Alaska. Sorry, it says right here, Eagle Lake, Alaska. He's just got invited from the Pacific group. He's heavy on pucks. He protects it well. He got a B at the USHL Combine. Power forward. He was a captain of that Little Caesars team. So I think he was a leading scorer too, if I'm not mistaken. But another guy had a strong performance there and obviously translated to his draft day. Next up, Matteo Michaels. Michaels.
Michaels, he's fast, processes plays quickly, has the skills to back his brain, long, strong, stays with plays. I mean, I've got a lot more, but we've got to move on. He's tied in our top 100 here, so 375 star. So nice value here, this pick.
Made a lot of impact at the USHL Showcase about a year and a half ago. He was a fairly small player back then, and he had a nice little shot, went barring in, and pretty accurate shot that he picked a corner when we were there. So that was pretty impressive.
Gets under guys' skin too, a little bit, which I love. Love that.
Next up, Reed Vidola. How would you pronounce that?
I got to refresh.
For Lincoln. There you go. Beautiful. Another guy coming off national championship, U15s. He got a B+ grade, which is a tough grade to get at that tournament. He's a speed and skill, size, speed, and skill combo guy. He's tough to play against. He can make plays in traffic. I think he's got deceptive puck skill. I actually really like that pick. He's a guy that we have a little lower in our rankings, but he's some of the I really kind of spent some time on him. There were some other. He's someone I thought could have been higher. So my own fault. I probably underrated him a little bit, but I like his game a lot. I think he's someone that's only going to get better as he grows into his frame. 6'1", 165, and he's got some power to him. So when he fills out, he could be a really special player. Next up, Thomas New played for Honeybaked, or not Honeybaked, CompuWare. He's a guy. He's tough to play against. He's got skill. We have him as a 375. Gave him an A- at nationals because I really liked his game. Gave him a B+ at the state tournament. Strong, sturdy. He's got power and he's got skill. And I think he's someone that knows when to use it. Knows when to drive the net, play hard. Also knows when to make the move and get to open ice. Got soft hands, good first touches. I like his game a lot. I think he's well-rounded. I think he's someone that kind of stops on pucks, has a maturity to him. He's a very good fit for this league. Okay, Omaha goes for. Oh, is this the high-end Russian?
Yeah, played U18, 6'2", 176 pounds, left shot forward from Moscow. So he's played internationally. I'm surprised we didn't have him at World Selects, but we wouldn't have had any way to see him. He played overseas, so yeah, I guess you'd call him high-end Russian.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought it was the maybe the kid from the U18 World, but obviously it's too young.
No,
I don't know this kid.
No, we don't know.
Nikita. I'm not even try.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Nikita.
congrats, Nikita.
Congrats, Nikita. Greetings.
Omaha Lancers going across the seas. I love that. Love seeing that.
I love that too. I love it. Thanks, guys.
And it'll be interesting if we see some more of that. That's our first European player off the board.
They don't even have height and weight for him on here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if anyone else takes that approach later. I think we'll see.
6'2", 176.
Yeah, he's got some size. Played some international for them, and we fake your way to that.
But I guess he can throw sauce. He's probably got good edges.
Yep.
Probably rips it.
Yep.
Sauce, yeah, like the Goodfellas sauce, right? With the.
No, I'm thinking passing. Just throw sauce.
Just
Probably not
you
chunky.
don't want it.
No, it's probably not bolognese. I mean, it's easy to handle.
Bolognese.
I'm just taking a guess at that.
Chunky. I never threw sauce. Thought it was too dangerous.
Right. You were more of a punter.
Yeah, it was more of a get the fuck out, glassing out. It's an easy game.
So some guys that are still out there as we wait for the next pick. Carter Davis was a national development camp invite out of Elk River High School. He's still on the board. Would have thought we'd see him go. We have him as a 4-star. Luke McNamara, another 4-star out of Bishop Kearney. Their leading goal scorer, just really talented kid. I still don't think we've heard Ty Hendricks yet. Right about that?
Hendricks.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen him yet.
Did he get tendered?
And then maybe. And then Chris O'Flaherty.
I think he did.
Okay, might have gotten tender.
We think, I don't know.
Next pick is off the board.
San Jose, another kid who played up a year. Hold on. Played up with San Jose.
Philippe Le Souvi, right? Savoy?
I'm trying to find him in our database here.
No, sometimes with those heck many guys, we don't need.
Okay, here we go.
We got it right here.
Okay, Savoy played U16. He went 7th overall in the WHL draft. He's got good size, a fluid skater, great defensively, high hockey IQ, breaks pucks out well, and was the national invite for the Pacific region. I haven't seen this guy, so I'm going on notes from our scouting
We'll see him
staff.
in Buffalo.
Well, yes, we will see him in Buffalo.
In Winnebago.
Was San Jose U16s at the Nationals? So I was going through some of the kids listed the tenders. No.
Should say on his elite prospects, or we should. We're behind a little bit on commitment and stuff, folks. I usually do all those, and we've just been jamming through this 05 stuff. A little Google Docs mishap, and we're playing it squarely on Google. So if anyone else from Google out there, I'm happy with you.
As opposed to who might you be happy with.
The guy from Facebook, I don't want to get unhappy. I think he was involved. What's
So
his name?
who are you happy with?
You. I like you a lot.
Really?
Today.
Today. That turtleneck's sweet.
It's not a turtle.
What is it? Yeah. What are those things that are turtlenecks that you just call? What do they call Dickies?
Dickies.
Yeah.
This is great. This is Dickie.
I want to get one of those.
Dickie with nothing else.
No, what is it?
Big
Christmas Vacation. He's got a white sweater and like yellow. It's good stuff. I have those moose glasses. I have moose glasses. I got them for Christmas one year.
We got Jaden Johnson off the board from CompuWare, 71st overall to Green Bay.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Don't try to get us back on track,
yeah.
Mark. What are you doing? Having fun here.
We gave him a B at Nationals. CompuWare guy, another Michigan kid. High motor guy, slick hands, he's creative. We also saw him just recently at the USHL Combine, played number 9 for Team Getzel. I like his game. He's creative. He finds space. He's got a good motor. You remember him much from the Combine, Murph?
Oh,
Jaden Johnson, CompuWare.
Probably. I'm actually looking up the next kid.
Okay, the next guy is Emil Jarventi. I have not seen this guy. I don't know if you guys have.
I don't think he's from here.
It says Ives Tamper U18.
He's got a good brother.
Robbie Jarvente's brother. Yeah.
He's what country is he from?
Finish.
Finnish. Another Finn. So that's our second Euro off the board. Excuse me.
He's anything like his brother. He's a shooter. His brother's a shooter. He was second rounder last year.
Yep. You know, we had him pretty high.
Brendan's getting serious right now. He is getting himself a root beer.
Yes, some sugar.
This is where the wheels will fall off.
We didn't put those in the fridge for you. We didn't.
Chug it.
Don't even ask how much those cost, by the way. Those per can. Got some Regina pizza. Actually, we'd like to thank the, this is an awesome hotel here in Somerville. Mayor Curatoni did a great job building this area up. It's called, what is it called?
Assembly Row.
Assembly Row, yeah. And this is called the Row Hotel. And they hooked us up. The function room is kind of loud tonight, I guess, with people outside. So we're in here today.
I'm just going to take a second. If you take a look, Brendan's having a piece of pizza right now, but his hair beard combo with the hat, he really looks pretty good. I don't know.
He's getting the gray, which is starting to look distinguished.
It's not about you, this is about Brendan.
No, I'm talking about Brendan with the gray. He's looking distinguished, man.
No, but I mean, look at him when he's talking, he's looking at the camera, he's got good flow, he's got the curls out here, the hat looks good. You know, he's got a lot.
Which doesn't happen overnight.
No, I mean, you just don't, you don't roll out of bed and this doesn't just happen.
That's a low carb pizza to mix with your mug root beer, right?
Okay, we should probably get back to work because I missed 3 picks.
Okay.
Aiden Dyer from Fox Motors Hockey Club. I believe he was at camp last week, I think. Aiden Dyer, yeah. Fluid skater.
With that pick, we are now officially at the halfway point of the draft. We are now there.
He was on Team Corner, right? I don't have him here.
Yeah, Aiden Dyer is a little guy, good pace, good skill. Chicago seems to be going that direction. Smart players that can make plays, and that's him. He's got a lot of pace to his game. I like that pick. He had a good showing at the USHL Combine. Next up, Daniel Astovic. I don't know why I'm the one announcing the names. I'm terrible at this.
Because you look the best.
I believe he is was their leading scorer this year. We have him pretty high on our board. Yeah, he had 49 points in 48 games. He got an A at the HPHL. He got a B at Michigan State Tournament. Quick release, quick hands. He's a 6-footer, shields the puck well, fights to get open, and real finishing touch. So nice pick there. Reese Shaw was one of our favorites at the USHL Combine.
Yep.
Also saw him in the Minnesota State Tournament. Gentry Academy won the Class A this year, which was kind of a big deal because it's their first year playing in the state tournament. It's a new private school in Minnesota. Minnesotans don't really like that very much, so I don't think they had a ton of fans in the building. But I like Reese Shaw's game a lot. He's tall, he's got good touch, really athletic. What do you think of him?
I like his poise, reach. He's 6'2". I think he's 3.75. We have him right on the bubble. We have him as a 3.5 now. I personally think he's a 3.75. Again, soft hands. His passing ability is really good, and most importantly, thinks that he doesn't just throw pucks away. We saw one guy get the puck behind that, and he literally just threw it up the boards without ever looking, and I just put my head down. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
I just said I liked him too.
You had just said you liked him too. We're not going to give you anything.
Which always happens.
Always happens. But this guy is he's got size and a ton of upside. He's trending in the right direction for sure. He was good. He was good last week.
There's a run on Europeans now.
Oh, great.
Jeez.
Sorry, Europe.
Yeah.
Sorry, all of Europe. Any Irish players?
This is why
Any Irish?
we're very hesitant to do live shows with our.
What, I didn't mean it like
Our
that. I
current
just meant, we haven't exactly taken the Enzimo mill to Europe. But
Yeah.
if they could have played over here, so let's see what we got.
This isn't a guy I'm familiar with. Okay, so Giacomo
Rockets.
Martino. Now we're getting into Canada. Giacomo Martino, we have, check out what I got on him. Vaughan Kings. Just talking about them the other day, the Vaughan Kings 2014 or 2000. Giacomo.
Christopher's Giannis Krumans before that from Riga. Latvia. Do you guys play for the Rockets 15? This is saying. I saw the Rockets 15.
Okay, Giacomo Martino, picking up our again, these guys didn't play this year, so I'm relying on their Bantam grades from a year ago. Says Giacomo is an explosive forward, very strong straight line speed. His agility could improve, however, in a straight line, he's got the ability to challenge just about any player in the league. Odd man rushes in particular, his speed can easily be noticed as he managed to open himself up well while making life difficult on those trying to defend him. Produced a couple goals in this fashion, simply used his feet to find the open ice, kept his stick on the ice, and receives the pass well, B+. So he was a top 185, looks like he was probably top 50, top 100 kid for that Ontario Bantam group last year. But obviously we haven't seen them yet this year.
I can tell you the Crummins kid that's from the Rockets. He's a big, strong kid. He's good in front of the net. You love him because he's confident in front of the net. I saw him play a couple times earlier in the fall, and he's definitely a shooter and a scorer, more than a playmaker.
Now we have a run on Quebecois.
Quebecois.
Perfect.
I have no comment.
Shocker.
Don't keep being smart.
See,
You're afraid you don't have them.
Christian Vent.
that's Sente.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah. It's really, really smart kid.
You took French.
I did, yes. That was I took French because I was hopeful at some point I would go to the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, and I wanted to be able to slide right in and not be nervous about not being able to ask for my skate shirt. Vincente is a really smart player, two-way kid, strong on the puck. We saw him up in Exeter at that tournament. He was, he was a kid that everyone was talking about, Tanner Adams, and I came away from that tournament really impressed with this kid and his brain and how smart he is, his compete, and enjoyed watching him last summer. Didn't get to see him much in the fall because Mount had some issues with COVID, like a lot of places did, but he is a kid who's got real upside. And again, he's a real smart player.
Thank you, Ian. We got another two Quebec guys back to back.
Perfect.
I think that's great.
You spent time in Quebec, right?
Northern
Northern Quebec.
Northern Quebec, yes.
We do not have, I believe, Quebec's from their band. Oh, no, we do have Oliver. Olivier. Nope, sorry, that's a different kid. So no, we do not have those two Eastern Canadian kids. Again, tough this year with not playing, although I do think kid here from Quebec, Oliver Google, I think they did play at college, Esther, London, Phoenix. I think they did play a little bit this year. Anyways, Jake Fisher goes to Fargo out of Woodbury, Minnesota.
He was highly graded by our Minnesota scouts, tall, long. Looks like he's athletic, sharpshooter, gets to good spots. So he's moving without the puck. Pick your pocket. Got a really hard rocket in the He's smart. Seems to be a theme.
Yeah, it's another Minnesota kid that
Brains matter.
Brains matter.
played for Cretan Durham. They also have a great football team, by the way. We have them ranked as our 72 player, 375. Big time high school season this year, Minnesota high school. That's a good pick to get him this late.
Yeah.
Kind of a proven guy. Next up, Trip Hendy. Ian, you know this guy, don't you?
Yeah, he's another kid from the Boston Junior Eagles, the 05 crew. He's from New Jersey, but he played for the Eagles this fall. Split season did really well. He's a shooter. He's got great speed, great feet. He can accelerate from a standstill like that. He's quick and he can create space for himself really well. Played a few games for the U18 Eagles and handled himself well against the older kids that way. He's a smart kid. His biggest asset is his feet and his speed. He gets to the net. He's not afraid to track up the traffic at all. Has a very, very quick release.
One of the top bantams as well. So he was one of our top players when we evaluated the TPE platform when the 2005 group came through. Again, much the same as what Ian was talking about. Great feet, excellent acceleration. He has separation speed once he gets to the blue line. So a lot of the same attributes. But he also stood out as well at the USHL Showcase before he ended up getting a leg injury before he had to go out in one of the later games. But yeah, pretty impressive player.
Even motor.
Next up, we got Ashton Dons. Saw a lot of this guy.
Great name.
Yeah, great name. Our head scout in Minnesota, Brent Hilton, lives in Lakeville. So we've seen this kid a lot. He's a hockey player is probably what I'd say about him. He's physical, plays a 200-foot game, crashes the net, makes plays in traffic. We noted him. We gave him a B grade at the state tournament. Lakeville South made it all the way to the championship, almost won. Lost to Eden Prairie in overtime. Jackson Blake actually was kind of interesting. Jackson Blake had the game-winning goal for the Minnesota State tournament in overtime, and he had the game-winning goal in the USHL for Chicago Steel in overtime to win in the same season.
Going back to back here, Lakeville South High School again. Aiden Willis.
Yeah, so Aiden Willis did a lot for himself in the state tournament, and it's interesting because he had 2 goals in that state tournament that were absolute snipes from beyond the dots. And he only had 4 goals on the year, so I had never seen him before. Coley said this guy can shoot it. Didn't look like it on his stat sheet, but he was absolutely right. He got a B for the state tournament. He's a playmaker. He sees it. He's stocky. He's really strong in the puck.
Being stocky is a plus.
Being stocky is a plus. And tough to play against. And we just saw him at the combine.
Yeah, and he plays bigger than 5'11". I mean, that's where he's listed here. He looks bigger to me. He clogs lanes too in his own end, and I think it's interesting to have 2 players go back to back here, and both of them. Another interesting early 2005s with good size, and so this age it still does matter whether you're early or late for a thing. So that may come into play later on where you look and you say, "These guys are late 05, and you really like them." And smart play to take that guy because he's got a lot more upside, a lot more time to develop. So just throwing that out there. So, but both really, really good players. Brady O'Malley, CompuWare again. Brendan, you are all over CompuWare, man.
Yeah. Brady O'Malley is a throwback.
That's right.
O'Malley's kind of throwback, old school defenseman. He's tough to play against. When he hits guys, they feel it. You can watch guys as they skate to the bench. They're bowed over a little bit. He also was at the USHL Combine. I actually thought he was better at Nationals than he was at the Combine because he's better in his structure. But he's a tough kid, and he's somebody that's going to be a really good junior player because he plays that style of play, that in-your-face, tough guy mentality. So good pick. What do you guys laugh?
No.
Vote Buffalo?
No.
Okay, next up, Chris Pelosi out of Mount St. Charles. Him as a 375. He got a B+ at nationals. Tall, long, athletic, won a lot of battles. Smooth hands. He's got patience and tight, and a quick release. You guys familiar with Pelosi? Pelosi was a big-time band. I remember hearing a lot about him in the summer at the Eastern Exposure Triple Crown.
He's a solid 375. He wins puck battles. I think you say he's poised around the net, and he's kind of had ice in the veins, like we talked about before. Knows how to score, and he's athletic as well, so he's going to get better. It's a good value, really good value there. He's almost in our top 100.
Still some guys, names yet to be called. Wondering if there's they're tender or if there's.
Because it's tender. This is non-alcoholic, by the way. This is just sparkling water. Well, there's a lot of seltzer going on out there, Ed,
Back-to-back players from Mount taken.
Yeah, Maddox Toronto. Let's see what we have on him. I just saw them. 3.5 star, got a B at nationals. Tall, strong, athletic, versatile forward, soft hands, defends well, mature.
And you know these guys?
Yeah, I saw them play this year. They, I like the Mount kids. They, I don't know, I was thinking about Pelosi. He's a big, strong kid who I think he knows his future is as a power forward. He doesn't mess around.
Yep.
He just tries to lower his shoulder and get to the net. And then who was the next one you said?
Tolarco. Maddox Tolarco. 6'2", 180.
Yeah, Mount St. Charles did a great thing in November. They were having issues with Rhode Island and COVID being shut down. So they made 4 teams out of their U18, 16, and 15s. They played against each other, and from that weekend of that 2 days, Max is big, strong defense first, right shot defender. He moved the puck quickly. He passes faster, hard, and accurate. He keeps his gaps tight through the neutral and did not expose the middle of the ice. As a huge lanky 05, he won the net front battles and cleared shooting lanes with ease. Maddox kept the game single as a player. Watch closely as he continues to mature. And that was all after the Mount guys, Devin Rast had the Mount on Mount tournament. And that was actually really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, and they put it out there on video and allowed some scouts to see some things. And
yeah, I mean, you get in, it was great. It was honestly a great event.
Right. We got another Minnesota guy here.
Yeah, next up, Jacob Margaret, or Margaret, 5'10", 160 out of Academy Holy Angels. I did not see Academy Holy Angels this season, so I don't have much to say on him. Again, he's on our board, but we have an NR non-ranked next to him. Simply, we haven't seen him this past year. Again, I think there's going to be kids like this, some high school kids that go later, just because it was tough for people to get eyes on these guys.
Ed, you know this next guy?
Sam Willis wasn't there. Sam Willis wasn't in St. Louis.
Okay. They didn't get a bid.
Carousel is he's a power skill, grit, elusive, from the puck. He's late 05, tough. I want to say he was at. Is he at the Combine?
No.
No.
Yeah, there you go with the late 05s again. Looking at a kid who's 5'9", 155, who could be 5'11", 160 in 5 months. A lot of these kids are not done growing, so you project them out a little bit. If they're a late birthday, you may give them a little bit more on the upside. So it's like we got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He was.
Go ahead.
He was an active player during the USHL showcase. He was a player who was consistently getting in on the forecheck, and he had a lot more size than some of the other players who were there, who were a little bit slighter or a little bit shorter. and he was great at getting to the net, created a lot of chances in front, forced a lot of defenders to flush the puck down the wall. He did a lot of positive things playing for Carshield at that event. And good news, guys, your guy's off the board, Ty Hendricks.
Yeah, I'm just reading a report on Caracello here. Late 05, playing up with St. Louis U16s. Our scout said, it's great vision, sees the ice well, able to generate scoring chances, scored 4 goals in 3 games. Great edges, allows him to quickly change his attack angle and get a shot off. It's always an F1 on the forecheck with an active stick, broke up plays, great turnovers, A+, A. So I didn't see St. Louis's U16s this year, but he's got 5 reports in our system, so
Yeah.
our guys like him. Our Midwest guys like him a
Well, you
lot.
should sign up for the site. A lot of reports on these guys.
Okay, Ty Hendricks, one of the top guys left on the board. He's a 4-star. We have him as a top 50 player. Ed, did you see him in
Yeah, he was on the Shattuck 16 team. Again, surprised that he's around this late. Bigger kid, I think he's listed at 6'2", 6'3", but just moves well for a bigger kid, gets through the middle of the ice quickly, was just always around the net, always around the puck, making chances. And I just thought he used his body real well, to buy himself an extra split second to make the pass or to get to the net. And he just, consistent the whole weekend out in St. Louis and always making plays.
Yeah, I got a B+ for that effort. And I think Shattuck does a really good job. When they call guys up, they're there, they're ready to play. They don't call up guys that sit on the bench. So if you're a U15 age player and you're playing U16s, there's a reason. Sachin was their leading goal scorer this year as a U15. Hendricks was right up there too. Pedal. Like
all these 05s are playing, and they're on the power play, and they're out there at the end of the game, and they're expected to contribute. They're not out there sitting on the bench. They're on the ice.
Yeah, playing up, folks. If you're not playing in key situation, a puck isn't on your stick very much. It's not a good use of your time. I know this. What do we have? Greenberg next.
Yep, Lenny Greenberg.
You know him, Ian?
Not well.
I do. He's poised, smooth, puck moving defenseman. He's got good size. I think he's from El Segundo, maybe California. He's grown a little bit in the last year. His head's always in a swivel. Hard passer. He's not too fancy. Clean puck distributor. He keeps it simple for the most part, and that's when he's most effective. I think he's got offensive upside for sure. He knows how to angle and seal players off the blue, on rush, and yada yada on and on. He's a solid defender and crisp passer. So he was very good at the latest.
We saw him at the Combine. Got a B+ there. He got an A- at the Play Hockey Championships down in, I keep forgetting where that was, but I think it was Philly or Pittsburgh, somewhere in there. Same thing. Like I said, I live out of a suitcase, so I don't.
He really does. He smelled his shirt before he put it on.
It's a Febreze commercial here right now.
Yeah.
Really, what is Bill Murray hangs the shirt out? Ghostbusters.
We got a run here of some really talented guys that fell. Jonathan Lanza is a 4-star prospect, another junior Eagles guy. You know this guy.
Yeah, he can carry the puck out of the zone. He's got a rocket of a shot. He's a big, strong kid. This year, as he was playing for the junior Eagles in the fall, and then through for Dexter during the prep season, Dexter was one of the few prep schools that actually played a real season. And Jonathan showed real improvement as the season went on, processed things quickly. As a younger kid, he was physically gifted and was able to make some plays. And as this year went on, he got smarter and smarter. I think this is actually a great pick. I'm shocked he didn't go higher. Again, he's got a lot of upside. He just played really well at the Mass Festival last weekend. And he's going to national camp.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but a lot of people said he played very well. Anything else?
Next guy up with the 94th pick, Lincoln gets Carter Davis. This is a steal. I mean, this is an NTDP invite kid. Played for Elk River High School. He's very athletic. Our Minnesota guys gave me a heads up on him going into national camp because I hadn't seen him. moves well laterally. It's got it's big frame. He's only 6 feet, but he's only 157 pounds. He's got a big shot from the point. He's got soft hands, distributes really well. I thought he had a real chance to make the national teams because he was a right shot defenseman, and they didn't have many right shot D. He's a really good player. He can do a lot of different things. He can quarterback a power play, he can kill penalties, he can play tough down low. He's got a good net front game. Carter Davis is a very good hockey player. That's a steal at 94. Next up is Cam Russo out of Governors. Ian, have you guys seen him?
Yeah, saw him playing for the Rats. He played for St. John's probably this winter.
2 winters ago.
2 winters. So, athletic kid, long reach, study of smooth stride, gets through the middle of the ice, gets up to speed pretty quickly. I just thought he was a confident player when I watched him. He wants the puck on his stick. He wants the puck on the zone entry to facilitate the offense. And he's at his best when he has the puck on his stick.
Yeah, he's a kid. He can make a ton of plays. He's big. He's strong. He's really fluid when he skates. He plays with his head up. He's good at coming down the off wing and sucking the defenseman to him and cutting hard to the middle. He's got a really hard shot, really quick release. He can score through traffic. He can score off the rush. He's got hands where he can score on breakaways. He's a big kid with a ton of upside. I also think is a good pick right here. Could have been a kid that went higher.
Another Select 16 invite as well.
Yeah, he was really good last weekend. Jonathan Lanza and Cam Russo, I thought the two of them. I was just there on the Friday night, so I didn't see Saturday and Sunday. But on Friday, I thought they were, the two of them plus Colin Emery. I thought those 3 kids really dominated the games that I saw. Played with pace, were confident with the puck. There were times that they held the puck on longer, and that was because they were looking guys off and people were biting on the look, and that just shows the poise that they have. And Cam was certainly in that camp with high poise with the puck and high confidence.
Next guy up is Sam Crane out of Shattuck St. Mary's. We have him as a 3.5. Crane, I thought he was quiet at Nationals. I mean, still got a B minus. He's had 36 points in 42 games, but he's someone that's really raised his draft capital at the Combine. We have him as a B plus A minus hybrid. Balanced, finishes checks. He's got a hard release. Always had the puck on his stick. So he's a possession player. Really strong edges and poise. So again, another USHL Combine guy that if I hadn't gone to the Combine, he's probably not on our board because I thought he was quiet at Nationals. Not that he was bad at Nationals, but quiet. And then really stepped it up at the Combine. Nice to see him go here in the top 100.
We got Jake Lewis from Philly Junior Flyers. Got some jump, balanced skater. His hands are productive, if not slick. Hard snap shot, goes to the net, looks for rebounds. There's knack for finding them. Brendan, anything else?
Yeah, here's another Combine kid. I'd never seen this kid. I have not seen the Flyers this year, and got a B plus at the Combine. Kid was always around the net, scores. He can pick his spots. So you're seeing these Combine kids coming out here. Next up, Team Wisconsin kid out of Hudson High in Wisconsin. Top 200 player for us, B plus at Nationals. He's a skilled offensive defenseman. He's balanced. He's got really good puck control. He ran their power play. Smart on the outlet pass. He kind of processes things pretty quickly. He can get it up ice. So.
He doesn't dust it off. Moves it quickly. What do we got next?
Clark is, I think, a guy you like, Mark, because I remember doing the rankings on him.
No, I like him. He's big, he's heavy, he's strong as a bull, he's competitive. He's going in the corner, he's winning the battles, he's coming out with the puck. There's a lot to like about this kid. He's going to battle and be strong. He'll go to the USHL camp, he'll go to Omaha's camp this summer, and he's going to win battles against bigger and so-called stronger kids because he's got the will to win. He's a kid that I like a lot. He's got real hard pro upside.
Yeah, one of the notes in our database says this kid is a truck.
We saw him up in Manchester at the Triple Crown, and you just couldn't knock
Yeah,
him off.
he's a bull.
You know, when he's playing against his own group, it was, physically did what he wanted. Got to the net, stood in front of the net, topped the, knock him off the puck in the corners or around the boards, and just solid.
He plays a mature game. He doesn't play like an 05 trying to ditch you do all that kind of crap. He knows what he is, and he does it well.
Next up, Tri-City gets Ryan Coring. This is an interesting player. Plays for Eden Prairie, won the state championship, Class AA. Didn't get like a ton of minutes. He's not somebody that, like I said, they're the state champions, but very solid, reliable player, steady, knew his role, didn't try to do too much, made the quick, simple pass. He's got good size. I noticed here 6 feet 146, so he's got plenty of room to grow. But yeah, earlier in the year we saw him at the Shattuck Showcase. I think he was playing with Blue Army or Minnesota Blades or one of those teams. We have him as a 375. He's a top 150 prospect for us. So nice pick there. You're getting a guy who's played high school hockey. He's played in the state tournament. He's played with fans. He's played, not that, fans were very limited, but we were still able to get there. There's still several thousand people there. He was able to play high pressure situations. So that's a safe, smart pick for Tri-City. And that's the first 100 kids off the board. Most of our top, there's a couple guys left in our top spots. Is McNamara still left, or did he? I think he might have. Thinking McNamara, O'Flaherty. I'm shocked that O'Flaherty hasn't had a Chicago Young Americans. Sean Rios out of Bishop Kearney. I think he's Canadian, so there might be some CHL risks there.
All right, we got Hunter Ramos going to who here?
Oh, there you go. Now, speak of the devil.
What?
O'Flaherty's now off the board. Ramos is a goal scorer in every way you want to look at him. Top 157. He's fast, goes hard to the net, gets open away from the puck. That's the tough thing with kids this age. Their play away from the puck isn't always great. They'll learn that in juniors. This kid's already got it. He had 36 goals this year. Got a B+ in the Michigan State Tournament. That's a nice pick.
Goal scoring's at a premium.
Yeah, absolutely. 102 to Fargo, Chris O'Flaherty. Really surprised he slipped this far. He had a big-time nationals. He got an A for us at nationals. He's a real goal scorer, power forward, ton of talent. He's good with the puck. He's got a little bit of snarl to him. He can score both outside with power. He can score inside with finesse. I think Chris O'Flaherty is the steal of this draft. There's been a couple, but to me, he's a top 50 talent that just went 102.
All right, we got a prepper, a New England prepper from Thayer. Keyswetter, young goalie, 6'5", 190 pounds. Good mobility for his position. He played high school hockey in Mass.
Another Boston Junior Eagle going.
Another Boston Junior Eagle. They keep producing really good players. He's poised to reach, plays well. I don't know goalies well, so I'm just kind of reading here. Always seem to be in positions to make plays. Anybody else? Then you can get a Boston.
I was talking to you, Mark, about this.
Yeah.
No, that you said the Massachusetts 2005 were deep in net.
Yeah. The 2005 draft class, or the 2005 age group, I should say, in Massachusetts for goaltending is actually pretty deep. You have a handful of kids, all of whom were at the Mass Festival over this past weekend. And Keyswetter is the one who was selected to go on to national camp for the 16s. So that says a lot about him as a player, but it also says a lot about just kind of the state of Mass goaltending in that year. He's a really big kid, takes away the bottom half of the net because of those giant pads. In the outing at Mass Festival this past weekend, he was really confident. He was challenging shooters at times, and he did a good job of staying square. You could tell that he was really amped up for the opportunity. He did a lot of positive things there, and that's why he's moving on to Amherst. But pretty impressive work by him over the course of that weekend. And I could be wrong, Brendan, but is this our first goalie off the board, or am I making that up?
Second. I think it's our second.
Miles Roberts.
Okay, second goalie.
The 05s are actually throughout the country, I would say, is pretty strong in the goalie class. Next up is, speaking of goalies, Chaska High School starter is an 05. That's not an easy task. We have him as a 3.75. He got an A against Hill Murray. Hill Murray couldn't play in the state tournament because of COVID, but they're probably the best team in the state. I don't want people, from Eden Prairie arguing on me with that, but going into it, they were. I think they were the #1 seed.
Wistar?
Yeah.
Chaska, right?
Yeah, Chaska High School, 6'1".
Is it Chaska or Chaska?
Chaska. And
It should be Chaska.
he's athletic, challenges shooters. He's poised, confident. So for an 05 goalie to be a starter in Minnesota High School says a lot. And to get an A against a Hill Murray team says even more. So nice pick there.
I'll say before we get to this next Buffalo Junior Sabres player that was taken, that I think the best pick so far has been Smith. I know it was early from Buffalo. I really think that even though he went high, to me, he's easily a top 5 pick. And that's just the way I feel about him. He is tough, hard-nosed, and he can score and make it very, very difficult to play against you. So I think that was probably the steal, even though he went pretty early. So, anyways, moving on. We got
our next D,
Fritz.
James Fritz. It's kind of an understated D. We liked him a lot as a Bantam. We gave an A at Fort Huron Silver Stick, which in the U.S. that's one of the best Bantam tournaments you can go to. He got a B this year at National for grade. He's athletic, mobile, moves well in all directions. He's smart. He's quick on the breakouts. He can handle the puck under pressure and waits for the lane to open, doesn't force it. So I actually like Fritz a lot. Again, he's understated, which is probably why he went down in the 100s. But he's you can make an argument he's a top 75, top 50 player. Next off the board is Anthony. Stupka. Here's another guy that could have gone higher, and we liked him a lot at the USHL Combine. Could even make an argument that one of the best D there, if not the best D.
He's big. He's highly athletic. He's a forward, isn't he?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of
you're thinking of the other kid who should go. Combined speed, skill, shooting ability, great. I mean, on and on. Crashes the net, curl back and hit his teammate. That weak side D coming up. Scored. He'll help a team win even if he doesn't score. He's one of those players, high ceiling player. Again, 6'2" plus and highly athletic. This is a really good pick in my opinion. Again, he's going to be well coached coming out of that PIT program, well conditioned. Really like him. 3.75. I think we have him.
Yeah, and the 3.75. I was just looking up his grade for at Nationals. We gave him a B plus. Highly athletic, versatile forward, combines speed, skill, and shooting ability. Mixes in some grit as well.
All right.
So nice pick there.
Hello.
Next, Anthony Capello, strong performer at the USA U15 Nationals in Dallas, Texas. He's long, strong, really athletic. You can tell he's developing. He's just playing on instincts right now. And kind of an exciting player to watch because he's just got so much upside. Then he followed that up with a strong performance at the USHL Combine. I actually thought he was missing a step and found out later that he was groin or hip. He was dealing with a little bit of an injury.
Yeah, and he still looked good though, and he still gutted it through. And I give him credit for that. He's a talented player. And he's an late August birthday, so again, those 8-9 months can make a difference. He's got some growing to do and some getting used to his body. He'll figure it out. He's one of those kids. He's tough and he'll figure it out.
We have him ranked 100. He went 107. I actually think he's got more upside than where he currently is.
Yep.
So he's someone to keep an eye on for sure.
Aiden Dyer. Washington.
Oh, yeah, this kid's, I haven't seen him in a while, but he's a monster, I think.
6'2", 170 it says here. But.
Yeah, got him as a top 120 player, 6'2", goaltender. Got a B at the Triple Crown. He got A- at Cleveland Barons tournament. Stats, we don't really have the stats. They only show 5 games. But a .981 save percentage. I just remember the kid being really big and really mobile. We have him ranked as, like I said, 3.75 star. Athletic, poised, confident, can play the puck, sees through traffic. So those are some of the notes our scouts have said on him. Next up, Sean Rios. He's another guy that dropped. I think we have him as a 4. Yeah, we have him as a 4-star. Leading scorer for a talented Bishop Kearney team. I think he's a leading scorer. Explosive skater. He plays an intense game. Can do everything at pace. He just got an invite to the national camp out of the Pacific area, and he was the 2nd overall pick in the WHL and US Draft last year.
Like when he plays with the net, he's always around the net. Saw him play early with the ball. He got 2 penalties for hitting kids too hard. They call that rough call when it's basically the rest feel badly for the kid who received the check. He got 2 in one game for hitting too hard. He's always around the net. Good quick release. Plays with emotion. He's a fun kid to watch.
We got next Mel Melbourne. I think he was at the Combine.
He was. Luke.
Yeah.
Luke. Mel.
Head kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
2-way D, hard to play against, quick shot through. He's got vision and strong defensively on one-on-ones.
That makes you go around him, good stick, forces players out of scoring spots. And has some flair up the ice. I think that'll develop as time goes on. So, but he's got his end taken care of for sure.
Yeah.
And again, played off this year, I believe, and those big kids are prepared. One thing what we've always noticed about the Pitt and the Buffalo kids to an extent is they just win a lot of battles.
And the lead kids are strong.
Yeah.
They're strong at the puck.
Strong.
They've got a strong base. They've got good deep knee bend, low hips, play into contact, no fear. And it's
Parents are ready too. They're ready.
The parents have good deep knee bend and they're also ready for
They're
contact.
ready. They're ready.
They love
They bend
contact.
their knees.
But yeah, they play hard. They're physically they're always strong and competitive. Very winning battles.
Yep. All right, so we got a guy from
Quebecois from St. Joseph's Seminary. Like I said, we haven't seen those guys this year due to COVID, so move on from that. Next up is Sean Smith. Sean Smith, another guy from that Honeybake national champion team. We have him as a 3.5 star. He's a B at nationals. Big body, 2-way defenseman. He's got real zip on his passes. He passes like he's like a junior player already. We had him at the Combine. We gave him an A-. Murphy said you liked him a lot. You have him as a top 50 guy there. Sean Smith, he's just very physically developed. He's 6'2", 190, plays like it, makes you feel it. And it's funny, two down is Luke Baker, also on that Honeybake team. I think it was his defensive partner. And he's another guy, big kid, strong, grinds forwards down. I like both their games a lot. Both their games will translate.
Argus, Sioux City out of Florida Alliance. Looks like he's a similar type player. Mature, poised, doesn't make many mistakes, plays physical, and kind of end of the game type down the road.
Argus is Another one of those kind of understated guys, not as flashy, so doesn't get as much of the praise, but, you know, he was an STX top 68. Now it's the CCM top 68, which is a good program run by 200 by 85. So he was at that as a Bantam. We have our grades for him is B at Triple Crown, B at Minnesota Blades, B- at National. So he's sturdy, he's versatile, plays at both ends. He's got a mature game. Another guy doesn't flash at you, but his game will translate. Next up, Gengel, CompuWare guy, another 3.5 star. He was a B at Nationals. He was a B at the Michigan State Tournament. He was a B at the USHL Combine. So another guy who's very consistent, heady, puck possession style player, really smart. He's got quick feet. He can make guys miss, but he's got a mature approach. He's not overexposing the puck. He's not trying to dipsy dangle. He makes the smart play. So again, in this league, you know, it's different depending on the league. If you're in the OHL or BCHL, a little more open. That's one thing, but in the USHL, it's very defensive, and it's got very good defensemen, very good goaltending. So you've got to be able to play a smart game. If you overexpose the puck in that league, you'll pay for it. Next up is a Jersey Rockets kid. Saw him in the fall at the Play Hockey Championships. I gave him a B+ there.
Where was that?
Yep, yeah. Somewhere in the Atlantic region.
I never even heard of it. Was it a real tournament?
Yes. And then he really flashed at the Combine. Gave an A- there.
Oh yeah, he
was really good in the fall for the Rockets.
Yeah.
In all honesty, he was really, really good.
He was at the Wisconsin USHL Combine. That was a real tournament. He just backhand dragged around a kid, went in, silky finish, backhand up top. One time he lost puck and just made the tightest turn. I said, sitting next to you, remember I said, you see how tight that turn was? He went back and got the puck from the player that took it from him, came back, took a hit to make a play, and they went in and scored a goal.
Yeah, I really liked him in the fall. It was the first time I saw him play. He was very good, very impressive, competitive, wants that puck, wants that stick.
Yep.
He was fun to watch.
No big skates with him. He wants the puck. It's his. It's his. This is a great pick. Love it.
Mark, who we got next?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. Eli Friedman with Fairfield.
Oh yeah, Eli Friedman.
You know. I know a little
We
bit.
saw him up at Triple Crown too in New Hampshire.
Who ran that?
A little bit of a
Matt Miles? Is that Matt Miles?
That's Matt Miles.
Hey, shout out to
Eastern
Matt
Exposure.
Miles, Eastern Exposure Hockey Group. Do a good job. Gets good players.
Yeah, I used the Triple Crown report a lot when we did the rankings.
Yeah.
A lot of kids here. I think of like 50 to 100 kids are.
We were all up there too, which was great.
Yeah, it was a great event.
But a lot of these kids were there. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, he's a smaller kid, but just crafty, made plays in tight areas.
Strong as hell for a smaller kid.
Yeah, but impatient with the puck too. He wouldn't force anything. If Reed wasn't there, he'd curl back and find some more open ice and regroup, and then find the right read through the middle of the ice into zone entry. So just we had here just crafty and slick with the puck.
Next up, Beck Mashdell, out of Laval, Mount Rousseau, Montreal Rousseau. So that's another Quebec kid off the board. I was just thinking to myself, it's so funny because last year, it was either last year or the year before, I was talking to some USHL guys in Buffalo, New York at the USA Festival thinking, why aren't you guys out in Quebec? Like that Quebec Midget AAA League is really good hockey. And they're playing U18. There's no U16 in Montreal. There's no U15. So you're watching them play against older competition. And now I'm kind of biting my words here because now Quebec kids are coming off the board and we don't know them. So
I can end up there next fall if you like.
yeah. Once we can get over the board,
we're
we're all there.
See that, Clark? That's an RV.
Yep. It could be like stripes. With the women, we just go right over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Urban assault vehicle.
Yep.
Urban assault vehicle.
Urban
Exactly.
assault vehicle.
Or if you get to drive, I could ride shotgun.
Razzle dazzle.
Yeah, when you wonder where your money's going for your subscriptions, it's not to, it's not us getting rich over here. It's us trying to buy a NZ RV.
Nice.
That's actually legitimately the dream.
Yeah, that's the dream. Some
That's
people
it.
dream of like fancy cars,
We can
nice
get enough-
houses.
Right. We get enough subscriptions to do that.
Our dream is RV.
Advertising, like Marriott, where are you? What's up?
Just think about a fat head of Murph on the side of an RV trying to get through the border.
That's it. We don't even want.
Unbelievable.
At that point, maybe we'll even stop charging. I don't even know if we have the RV.
The RV
What
would
about
be
gas?
Gas, but yeah, I'll have to charge for gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to live in this RV, so that's another component to this.
No, well,
That's,
yeah, we'll
that's
have to
actually
talk about
helpful.
that.
As you can see what's going on just in the last
Yeah, it's
hour and a half here.
You could, he hasn't unpacked his bag since the Wisconsin Combine. Brought the same bag here.
But his hair looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
It does.
Right at this angle.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. That doesn't.
Yeah, washing your hair is sometimes a bad thing.
It curls
Washing
right
your
up.
body is sometimes good.
That I mean, you must. Did you do anything to it?
No, I don't.
Finishing rinse?
Nothing.
So next guy up here is Bowen Burke, smart mobile defenseman, manages gaps really well. We gave him a B at Nationals. He's got really good vision. I liked him on the breakout. He makes quick decisions under pressure. He's athletic. Not surprised to see him get picked here.
Another goalie, Dylan Johnson,
There's-
Dallas.
Yeah, saw him for Sioux Power. So for Sioux Power, out of the Nationals, in a team that I think surprised a lot of people. They beat Shattuck in overtime. They made it to the semifinals, I believe, where they lost to the Avalanche. But this kid was good. I just thought he challenged shooters. He was aggressive. Had a good glove. And one other note I had on him was just he made the life of his defenders pretty easy. So we'd go out, would get pucks for them. He'd put the pucks in good spots. So when they came back to retrieve them, they had some room to work with it, room to move it. But another big reason why that Sioux Power team had a good run in Nationals.
They had a great run in Nationals. They were fun to watch.
No, you got it. You start. I mean, I saw. I think again, this is probably Mark that watched this online. Salisbury.
Yep.
Or Ed or.
Yep.
Do you know him? You want it? Or you? Or
And
we can just-
Poitras from Quebec kid that came down this year, played with Rochester Coalition split season and Salisbury is their regular season. But for people who don't know, the New England prep schools, with COVID and everything, it was tough to get games. So you had to watch online. You couldn't go live. But did you see him, Ed, or Mark? Did you see him?
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I saw him play against Canterbury in one of those online scrimmages. Basically, he was one of the youngest kids on the ice. And it was interesting just looking through the scrimmage. He was working through his process as he was going through it, got used to the pace of play, and played a pretty aggressive game. He was looking to get to the front of the net, looking for shot tips, made a series of selfless plays in the neutral zone, took a hit to make a play. He was doing, a lot of positive things in this game, and you could see that adjustment happening in real time. But pretty athletic kid, still growing into his frame, obviously, but interesting. And I think at the prep level, he's just going to get better and better with additional development too.
Yeah, I mean Andrew Will and that crew there. There's some of the very, very best in hockey. Never mind in prep school, and
They do a great job.
yeah, they
Some
turn
players.
out a lot of really good players.
A lot of well-coached, hard-nosed kids stop on pucks. They play the right way when they come out of Salisbury.
Yeah,
You saw that with Rocco and the U18s.
Yep.
Those kids, they were hard to play against, disciplined, smart. They played on the edge, and a lot of those kids are Salisbury kids. They earned it.
Yeah, there's some high-flying prep teams we'll watch, and then they all of a sudden they run into Salisbury.
They
And
seem to always be in the way, just the right
yeah,
time.
they just boom. That's that fun train in right there. Circus
Next guy up is
Circus 10 goes down.
Matt Wood, 2005. He actually played in the BCHL this year as a 05, which is incredible. Him as a 4.25, and he's moving his way up. He was a 19th overall ranked player for the WHL draft for us last year. He's a premier goal scorer, shoots to score, great release. It's quick, it's hard. He can break down defensemen one-on-one. He's strong on the puck. He's able to kind of freeze defenders, make his move, and then blast it.
6'3", 175.
Yeah, but
That's pretty good.
the BCHL is a hell of a league. You can imagine, we're talking about how much we like some of these guys that are playing against kids their own age. Imagine, this kid's out here playing against 20-year-olds, and not just any 20-year-old, like really good 20-year-old.
Yeah.
So again, late in the draft, you're going to see some of these guys. They're going to take a swing.
Yep.
With things with Canada right now, who knows what's going to happen with COVID? So later in this, now going forward, late rounds, and I think we'll see a lot of it tomorrow, where some of these USHL teams are going to take some swings at some of these CHL prospects.
Yeah, there's not a ton of trust in certain players in certain regions of Canada that they're going to be able to play regular seasons next year. So there's some guys looking to move down and play. So we'll see.
Didn't know where you were.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You were nervous.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I kept it it's true. There's people up there going, what's up? I mean, the OHL hasn't played at all.
Well, it wasn't just that you said it, but it was the delay of trust.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of trust. And it just
There's not. If you're some of those guys, you're sitting there and you're going, okay, what's up? And I don't blame them, quite frankly. These are important years for 05s, 04s, and 03s, and some of those
And 2s and 1s.
Everybody, but if you're in 04 and looking at what happened to the 03s, you're saying maybe I need to get out of Dodge. Just saying, no offense. Hope nobody's upset about that. It's just the truth. And in the field,
It looks like there was a trade up there. I don't know if that was just a delay, but wouldn't be surprised. Okay, because again, we talked about how Murph said how Tri-City is linking up with Chicago Young Americans to make a team. They trade up here late to get Brendan Fields.
Smart.
Smart move. We have him at 130, went at 123, 3.75, small skill, really quick feet, great scoring opportunities. He's got some dynamic to him. He's got a little bit of bite around the net.
Yeah.
But mostly he's a high-paced playmaker. And interesting to see them trade up and get someone they obviously know really well.
Again, good to see some of these Chicago Young Americans go here. Great organization. Quebec.
It's
also been a lot.
Aaron's. Don't know him either.
A lot of California guys, which is, that's nothing really new, but I don't know where, as far as states, the most players have come from. I think Minnesota, you'd have to say. I'm just looking at official here, but Michigan, Minnesota, yeah. Quite a few California guys, which is, again, nothing new.
Yeah, that's always been a discussion of
big state, though.
That where kids go. It's historically the Midwest has always done well in the USHL because, again, every case is different, but overarching, those kids want to go play in the USHL. When you're talking about, Minnesota high school kids, a lot of them might stay because it's a pretty special experience. New England prep school kids, some of them stay. So there's a little bit of higher risk. Doesn't necessarily mean that USHL doesn't like those kids or doesn't want those kids, but they don't know if they're going to report to camp the way
most of the prep school kids in the Northeast, when the parents and families have put that much money into tuition, it's hard to talk them out and say, hey, we're going to bump out our senior year and go play. It has to be a pretty special kid that's going to do that. And in general, the families in the Northeast will take their time, earn the prep school degree, and then see what happens after that, which it makes sense, I guess, if you put in that big of a kick.
Yeah, no, for sure. And some of these schools are, really impressive academic school. You think of the Andovers, Miltons, Exeters, Deerfields, like Belmont Hill. We got 2 Belmont Hill alum. It'd be hard to turn that down, like you said, especially if you spend 2-3 years there and you're going to not walk away with a degree.
It's a lot of work just to leave sitting there.
Right. So I get it, but if I was a Minnesota kid or a Northeast kid, I wouldn't feel like, you're not wanted. I think it's just you come with a higher risk.
Something interesting here at pick 124, going with a 2005 defenseman, Matthew Wenner, from Quebec. It's interesting because the D core that they had at that team a couple of years ago was pretty well stacked. I think collectively everyone knows their top 2 D pair from a year ago with Noah Warren, who's playing up at Gatineau now, was one of the top selections in the Q draft a year ago. And also Emmanuelson Carbonneau, who is the Nebraska Omaha commit, who's playing with Alberni Valley now. So that's been a pretty stacked D core that they've had up at that team for a couple of seasons. So interesting that they're dipping into that talent pool. The Lincoln Stars are with pick 124.
Yeah, unbelievable uniforms too.
Really? What are they?
Yeah, it's like a green, maroon.
Like dark green, Kelly green?
Yeah, it's a purple up here.
Yeah, if I started a team, definitely I'd be green.
Would you?
Yeah, green.
I'd put it
No,
to
your
purple.
your favorite was that.
I'm kind of partial to
Milton
green.
Menace was it?
No, Milton
It was the
Menace.
OJHL black on black.
The last one, the 14, the Colorado Thunderbirds
Black on
U14s had black numbers on black jerseys. Does anybody out there from those teams make the numbers white? Numbers
But
should
you-
be white on a black jersey. I'm sure they look. Like I would wear the jersey. They were so awesome. Like I'd wear it out. Like looks like it had a lot of small detail. Like I'd wear it.
What kind of pants would you wear?
I probably would just black sweatpants.
Black
You know,
sweatpants
just to
with
be
black
all-
on black?
Yeah.
Black on black.
Your guy you wear it now would go really well with that.
No, I'd probably go more with like that one. The black,
Oh, black and white?
Yeah.
You like
Well,
the
your guy
black
you
on
got right
black.
now is.
We have some black hats with black neutral zone in black silver, black shiny metallic
Wow.
coming. So come to the PHL run by Commissioner Moran. There'd be some hats for sale coming up. You want to talk about the PHL at all? And
Now we're talking about these kids. that are
tomorrow,
gonna-
maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll have a little announcement. Something's going on.
Yeah, there's something big when the recruiting ban ends.
Yeah.
All right, anybody, are we refreshing our cachet here?
Let's talk
Am I
about.
hashtagging right now? Or-
I swear you love that
Are we
team.
hashtagging?
Yeah, we are.
Are we-
I swear
we
you
have
like
to
that,
take-
that team, the OJ, that was black on black.
That's the Milton Menace. I
Yeah,
think they
you
were
love
black.
that. You love
That
that.
OJ tournament
Yeah.
after when we drove everybody from Minnesota from the NAHL showcase, but you've never been in the NAHL. It is an absolute zoo. It goes all day. It's real life hockey. Like, this is desperation. You have to pay attention. The players are working their butts off. And I thought we were taking a plane to Buffalo
No.
to go to the OJ. No. He got into his car and drove. He was set. I thought he was going to die. He was driving the car, and I'm feeding him these red pills. I don't even know what they were. They were cough pills. And then we had stopped at Erie. Woke up with no idea where we were.
Yeah.
None of us drank, by the way, just so you know. It's just how hard we worked. And that's it. And that was when Marlon did the great video. Awesome about can turn on a dime
Yeah,
and give you
temper.
2 nickels change.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So you must have a pick by now, right? Nope.
No. So
Still.
let's keep talking about you, Murphy. So you got a lot of looking.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, so how far away are we from your house right now?
I just want to say hi to my family.
No, honestly,
How
how far away are we from your house?
This is Somerville, Vermont.
How far away?
Not far, I can walk.
Look at the size of the bag you brought. I mean, he's got a bigger bag.
We
than if I go
can't
to
touch the
Buffalo for 3 weeks.
webcam. We have a pillow under the webcam. Literally, we have a chair on top of a little table
Why would
with
you
a
do that, Murphy?
webcam because we wanted it to be able to see over Brendan's giant. He's the biggest laptop anyone's ever seen. Look at it.
Look how good his hair and beard looks.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean,
You
come
gotta
on.
be jealous. He didn't even use the beard stuff.
No, I have a nice live bearded. Again, we could sponsor us. Live bearded. It is some stuff in there, some product. Again, it doesn't just see that. It doesn't just
happen.
wake up. It doesn't just happen. No.
You take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm growing a beard for a reason, but it's not really anybody's business why. So
Looks
how about
good.
that?
I think it looks good.
Do you have your vaccination card with you or not?
No, I got shot 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago, you don't have it yet.
No, I do have this though. My turtleneck.
I have my USHL. Right here, look at this map. Look at that. But there's a lot of people watching this don't have one of these, do you? Huh. Look at that. All right.
The big handle electric.
How you safe, buddy? I had COVID and had both shots, but I'm gonna wear this just in case. It's Massachusetts after all. Right up the road from my house.
Why did you bring 7 pairs of pants?
Bring 7 pair of pants.
You brought 4 jackets.
First of all, I brought
95
I brought an
degrees today.
extension cord, which we ended up eating. And then everybody that's watching, like an hour before the show, we find out we need a webcam. So Ian and I run around trying to find a webcam.
Certainly not running.
Not running, no. We have no idea what we're doing. But it's all
Can
working.
you take off your mask?
Yes, sorry. But it's all working. I know, better if people see my face, right?
Yep.
But it's all working, so waiting on you to win.
Yeah, waiting on Des Moines, or, yeah, oh, no, Dubuque.
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 Oh, Dubuque.
We're waiting on Dubuque.
I actually made a USHL swing this year. Started out, went to, trying to think of.
You were in Pittsburgh first. You went from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I went to Pittsburgh, I went to Muskegon, then down to Chicago to Waterloo to Sioux City to, where did I go after that?
Sioux Falls?
Sioux Falls.
Yeah, maybe Sioux
So
Falls.
you should have gone. That's
Yeah.
that's
Might have gone to Fargo. And anyways, it was
Fargo?
going out that, the
Twin
cornfields out there, and you drive by farm after farm after
Don't you
farm
say?
after farm.
Would have been much nicer in a Winnebago.
Yes.
If anybody's out there, Winnebago, 6 million visitors a year on the website, Winnebago.
Just killing time segment.
2+ million
Now should ensure
on the Twitter
Winnebago
account.
stuff.
They will never get a Winnebago even if you want to pay full price. What?
I wonder what's going on with the
Dubuque.
125, the elusive 125. Should we check Twitter or something and see if maybe it's just a website?
Yeah.
I just hope there's not like 10 dumped, I mean.
Said what?
No, now you have me think of the movie Fargo. It's such a great movie.
Yeah.
The little fella.
Only got about 25 picks left, so they must be taking a break, I guess. I don't know.
I know Murph needs a nap.
No, I don't.
I need to know.
College needs a nap.
I slept 2 hours the last 2 days, 1 hour each day.
Dedication.
Sleep is really important for everybody out there.
Just checking to see if there's some kind of delay. Or...
Sheesh.
Anyway, you want to talk about earlier in the draft, Murph? Someone you think is a sleeper, maybe?
Yeah, we could talk about some guys still left too on the board.
Yeah.
The big board.
What do you got? Say some names.
Let's see. Let's go to our 250 list, which you can see on our website for subscribers.
Locally, Sean Leary. Big, strong, tough D. He'd be a good pick here. Hayden Bonk, I'm just going to put another. He was really, really good at the USHL Showcase in Wisconsin. Yeah. Fox Motors kid, he's D, 5'10" or so. Unbelievable leverage and balance. I think he's definitely a Division I player. And passing ability to create up ice, clean zone entries, run power play. Love Hayden Bonk. Anybody else have anybody stepped in? No one?
I got an 05 that's been playing in the PHL, Devin Bard, big, strong, power forward winger.
Yep.
He's done unbelievably well. Competitive, physical. I think he's starting to understand what he is, what he's going to be. But he's a kid size-wise and coachability-wise that could play in the USHL and thrive.
Devin's really good. You could see his brother Liam tomorrow.
We've got, for guys that are left in our top 75, there's only a couple. Dylan McFadden out of Buffalo Junior Sabres, really skilled player. An Ontario kid, so there might be some OHL risks there, but really skilled. Jackson Nevers out of Edina High School. Again, he might be slipping because people just haven't been able to see them play. Same with Cooper Conway out of Andover High School. He's actually the only 4-star left on the board who hasn't been taken.
What about Hagens?
Hagens out of Mount St. Charles.
You can take it?
He is not.
No.
Really smooth skater.
He's a real skater. All day, man.
Excellent feet. And then Skogan Schrott out of Florida Alliance. Might be the fastest skater in the age group. He can absolutely fly. He's a 3.75, ranked number 70th. He's still on the board. And then a guy I really like who's been climbing is Cameron Doran out of the Buffalo Junior Sabres. Seems like a lot of those guys have slipped here. He got an A- at Nationals. He was a B+ at the Play Hockey Championships. He's ranked 79. 80 is Michael Hagens. He's still on the board. Zach Howard out of St. Thomas Academy.
Love the kid from Japan. He's interesting.
Yeah, he is.
Played at Rink.
Yeah, played at Brink. Yeah, Tayesu Ushio. I was actually talking to Cedar Rapids scout Ryan Gopels, who scouts with us. Does a great job in the Winnipeg area. Really good up and coming scout. He is really high on this kid, Tayesu Ushio.
I haven't seen him in person, but our reports.
No, you saw him at the combine.
Oh yeah, I did.
He's number
You're right.
18 on one. He's
Yeah.
a rocket for a shot.
Yeah.
You gave him an A-, so definitely something.
So I don't know what I'm talking about.
You rarely do.
No, I usually do. I'm a numbers, I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah, that's why I said
They're all
white
numbers,
18.
yeah.
You got
Give
it.
me a number and I know.
But yeah, those, so
Four.
for 75, we've got the top 75, I think there's 4 or 5 kids left. But 2 of them are Canadians, so you can understand that. Actually, 3 of them are Canadians.
About top 100.
Top 100.
Brendan, can I toss one more into the mix?
You go for it, man.
So how about Ryan Shaw from Pope Francis High School here in Massachusetts? Player who played alongside Ryan Leonard, who was obviously just named to the U17 team for the NTDP, but super smart, really deceptive. It's hard to tell what he's doing, pass and shoot. He just sees the zone so well for a player at his age. I'm very surprised that no one has taken a flyer on him in these first 8 rounds. You would have to think that somebody is going to take a look at him at the very least to have his draft rights before phase 2 starts. So that's an interesting one for me.
Yeah, I got a couple of guys that performed really well at the combine in that bottom of the top 100. Alex Lunsky from Shawnehason High School. We gave him an A- at the combine. Had a really productive season, almost a point a game in Minnesota High School.
Yep.
Like a tall, athletic type, protects the puck really well. Alexios Georgikoulis, Mount St. Charles guy. We have him at 90th ranked, 6'3", he was the 3rd overall in the WHL US Draft last year. We gave him an A at this combine.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He can really play, big power forward type.
What about the kid, 6? He's a great shot, defenseman, kid. Number 6.
Can't find him. Can't remember his.
He was very
yes,
good.
He was excellent. Quinn McCall was very good at the combine. Sam Sheets, I'm a little surprised we didn't see him come off because Brunder came off early. They were teammates at Chaska Bantams. He was an A- at Blue Ox at 78 points, 37 goals in 40 games. He can fly. We gave him an A at the USHL Combine. So yeah, there's some guys here. If you want to go goalies, Stephen Peck and Zach Ferris, 2 very talented goalies. Peck got an invite to NTDP camp. Ferris did not, but those are 2 top 100 goalies that are still on the board for those guys looking. Another kid that we could hear tonight in the late pick would be Ty James out of Omaha. A little lesser known, but we love him at Silver Stick as a Bantam. He just got invited for the Midwest to Buffalo for the national camp. Quick, elusive, small, agile defenseman. Could see him go. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot still out there. There's a lot of talent still out there. Trey Wandel out of Florida Alliance. Brady Engels out of Middleton High School.
By the way, just want to give a quick shout out as well, just looking at the numbers on the back end. Over the course of this day, we've added about 10 subscribers just in addition for all the work that we've been doing across this live stream. So hello to our new subscribers, all 10 of you.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Or gals.
Or gals, yes, sorry. Some other ones, I'm looking at the list here, and I'm just looking at some guys in the 120 range. Adam Gianta, very good player, very skilled, small guy, but excellent playmaker type. Peyton Nelson out of Chicago Mission, big guy, up and down, power game. Sloan Farmer, defenseman out of Mid-Fairfield.
You can't just name everybody.
Well, I'm just
So
saying,
you
these
can
are-
say, oh, I just said that name.
Well, I'm
You
just,
can't do that.
trying to give some airtime to
It's like,
some kids that deserve to be.
No, they're all good players, very good players. And whether you get picked fellas or not here, it's not the end. It's a lot of work that lies ahead. And, as Ian says, there's a lot of you out there that are still kind of figuring out your bodies. You have giant feet, and you're going to be big, and you just kind of making mistakes. Your brain's not working with your body correctly, and got some maturing to do. And you'll have your day. Just keep working at it. Keep your head up. Make sure you're having fun going to the rink. Right?
We could see some 05s too that go tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see that. I think last year, I can't remember the exact number, but there was at least 5-10 kids that went in the day 2 draft. So
We have
still on delay, or they firing you?
still on delay. We're still waiting. So we have another special guest to add in here as well. We have Brett Culleton, who has another player that he wanted to call out, Kyle Dahl from Lakeville North.
Oh, for sure.
Cully.
Hey guys.
What's up, Carly? Hey, you in the car?
Yeah, heading up to the cabin. But Kyle Dahl's a forward from Lakeville North, was one of the integral part of the team this year in their success. He's plays hard in all 3 zones, crashes the net, plays block shots, has a great active stick. He's got a great brain for the ice. Sees the ice very well. He moves well. He's just a great all around. I think he's an all around player that I'd be surprised if no one took a flyer on him for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Cully.
Yeah.
What do you think of the other guys so far, Carly, in Minnesota?
Yeah, what have you thought of the Minnesota picks?
I thought the picks were pretty good so far. I agree with William Whitelaw. I mean, the kid's super talented. He had a great year at Shattuck. He constantly works on his game. He loves hockey. He's a student of the game as well. So it was good to see him get rewarded. Coached against him back in Tain, even at that level. So it was good to see him get some notoriety and get selected. The 2 kids from Lakeville South, Doms and Willis, are both very high-end players, very talented, work hard, great explosive speed. So it was no surprise to see them go. But Kyle Dahl's the only one on my list that I was surprised it hasn't gotten picked as an 05 yet.
Yeah, for sure. What about Cully? What do you think of Gavin Griffin out of Lakeville North, defenseman?
Gavin Griffin's a good smooth skating defenseman. Moves the puck well. He's got a good skill set. He'll be a good player in a couple of years for sure.
Yeah.
What?
The different kinds of free love in the lottery.
Yeah. All right.
I think
Colin, where you headed?
if I'm not mistaken, was there a goalie selected from Chaska earlier?
Yeah. Yeah, Carter Wishart.
Wishart, I watched him play. I watched him play against Hill Murray, and he actually gave his team a huge chance to win that game. He was outstanding the first period. I think he had 21 shots against. He had 1 goal against 21 shots, and really gave them a chance to beat a top end team like Hill Murray. So not surprised to see his name on the list either.
Awesome.
Charlie, how far is the cabin?
It's a 4-hour drive. It's up on the
4
Canadian
hours.
border in Ely. Yeah.
What are you doing
Murph's
to get up
Beard's
there?
on point today too.
What's that?
Murph's Beard's on point today.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Thank you, Carly. I appreciate it. I fit in right in Minnesota, right? Fit right in. Twin Cities, eh?
Twin Cities, hey.
Hey, yeah, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hamilton, Toronto.
So,
But I agree with you, Brendan. I agree with the comment you threw out there. I mean, there's 05s that get drafted in phase 2 as well. So just because they don't get selected here, there's no need to drop your head because there's always tomorrow too.
Yeah, for some reason, Colin, we're on a break. It's I don't know, it's been 10, 15 minutes, maybe more than that. Pick 125.
Everybody's maybe, I don't know.
I feel like they do this every year. Like
Yeah,
late in the
right.
late in the
Mark,
first
you're
round,
right.
they
It
just
happens
wait.
every year. There's a gap. It's like a gap break, and I think they regroup and then they come back and finish the last 2 rounds.
And those picks go fast and furious. Like they'll be done in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, correct.
All right.
Did you say something?
I just saw it on Twitter. They said they took an overage with Brian Murphy.
Yeah. Yeah. Soft hands.
Track speed.
Yeah.
Excellent
I'm
effort.
having
Yeah.
some- yeah,
Yeah, can separate.
Fell walking dog.
Great net front presence, stick on the ice, always active stick. Bucks.
City Winchester.
Can tip shots that are on his tip, right on the stick.
That was a great goal. Oh, it was a great. Anybody who wants to see my game, you can watch the highlights from the Lake Placid Can-Am Pond Hockey
I
Tournament.
think that's
Go to
the
the video.
newest petition in the league to see if they
You'll
can
see.
bring you out of
All
retirement.
you'll see is
That was not Joe Thornton. That was Brian Murphy.
you will see number 4 flashing by you. That'll be me. Yep. It's called.
That's probably why they're trying to figure out.
At one point at this Pond Hockey Tournament, it was so warm. And it rained that we were literally, our blades were sinking the ice.
That had nothing to do with our weight.
Our weight or anything. It just was. Cully
We had also eaten 75 sausages and
Cully-
meatballs the night before.
We walked in the last day, and they, by the way, they denied us a championship, right? We all agreed we were one.
Yeah.
No question. Yeah, we were one.
I've never been so relieved when we got there. The ice was bad.
Playoffs. Yeah, the playoffs were coming.
That was the champ. That was better than the championship.
Our 2 pros on the staff were like, "Oh, thank God we're not playing." You know, more pros.
But Murph had the hunger to keep going. So
I was
we went back
hungry.
to the house and had
Who's next?
cheeseburgers.
No, we went home.
So actually, I was just taking a look on Twitter. It looks like teams are posting their picks and they're not going up to this to the website for some reason. But pick 125 off the board is Michael Hrabal from HC Sparta Praha U17's goaltender.
Okay. Obviously haven't seen him.
Then we have pick 126 going to Des Moines. Nathan St. Germain, a goaltender from Quebec, played for Seminaire St. Joseph M18.
Well, we're on goalies here, huh? You know him? No.
Apparently they're from much farther than the one we got right now.
So this one we may have something on. So the next pick, 127, is Jackson Patulny from Marquette Senior High School. From Marquette, Michigan.
I don't have anything on that. I don't know. Is that Grant's son?
Potentially.
Grant It's got to be.
Oh, it's interesting. So it doesn't update on the website, but people are tweeting out their picks.
Yeah, they're just tweeting them out.
All
We're
right,
looking at each of the picks individually.
this is where we need you, Mr. Bilotta. We've got 5 of us here with laptops that are depending on you to figure out the picks. We need Kelly to stay safe.
We just want college to stay on.
Kelly, what would you think of an RV that Brendan lives out of, and then we'd have to travel with him from tournament to tournament? Maybe we could have moments with Murph for hours and hours and hours and hours. We were trying to find a webcam for this thing. I could have moments from her for days. I just felt bad that you didn't do it. It was awesome. Swearing and mumbling and talking and texting.
Well,
Ordering Ubers, canceling Ubers.
Oh, yeah, I ordered an Uber and I texted the guy. I called the guy and he said, "Oh, he texted me." I'm like, "You're an Uber driver. You're in your car." You want me to text you? And then the guy texted me. Of course, you can't tell what he's saying. I can't tell. But then
It was a bad connection.
the fact that you have Uber is a miracle. So that I couldn't cancel it I'm texting him cancel, and he's texting me back. So he's when he's driving, I can see him moving on the app. So he's driving and texting. I mean, like, I don't know. We don't have a cap. I don't know.
So he's doing all this while he's standing right in the middle of an intersection.
Well,
I don't know who's better,
I don't know
Michelle
who's
Silverstein or Brian Murphy.
We're going to be live, and we don't have a camera. I don't know.
We solved the problem. We
Ian and I solved the problem. We got pizzas.
That would be called executive functioning.
Yes, and we brought an extension cord, which was smart, which we needed. And tomorrow maybe we'll be in the function room, but tonight they're having a reception outside there, so it's really loud. That's why we're.
Let's talk about the size of your bag that you brought in.
Suite. It's a full size, those away luggage.
We never got on a plane, put it that way.
No, wouldn't be fit in the carry-on, but I have like
3 miles from his house.
I have I have an extension cord. I have I have stuff that we need. I have T-shirts to give away to people.
It's just us. What's in here?
I gave a hat to Daniela, who was very nice and helped us order pizza. We got us some spin drift seltzers here, which we always need. And
so root beers to make sure Brendan has nothing to wait being a diabetic.
Spin drift, $6 million a year, maybe more.
Mark, you got any updates on the next text?
Yep, I got a couple more. So pick 128 going to Sioux City is Kyle Rohrer from Oregon, Wisconsin, played at Oregon High School.
Yeah, I like this kid a lot. He's another guy he's a Team Wisconsin kid. Trying to pull him up here. I think he's at the Combine as well. Yeah, Oregon High School. We have him as a top 150 player, B+ at nationals, fluid skater, smooth, handles the puck well, first touch, real skill. He's an A- at the Combine. Love his athleticism, still growing into his body. A nice pick for those guys. Sioux City always does well with their Wisconsin kids.
So
we have trade. Waterloo's going back to back here.
yeah, the two Waterloo picks, they have not tweeted out either one of them, so those are MIA. But the pick that comes shortly thereafter, let's see, I don't see anything from Green Bay, but I do see Muskegon tweeting out that they took 132nd overall Jacob Terpstra from Honeybaked.
Yep. You mean Oakland?
His picture is Honeybaked, but he's probably with Oakland now.
Yeah, I think it's an Oakland kid. We have him in our top 200. Big point seed, 57 points. We gave him a B at the Midwest. Scouting vision, puck point, and playmaking ability. I remember seeing him at the state tournament, but they were crushing the team they were playing, so I went to the next rink. I kind of missed him twice in a row, but smart player, good skill with the puck, obviously a lot of offensive production.
Mark, we have a request from someone watching that would like you to go, change clothes, and come back with something different outfit, like it's a rain-delayed golf.
Why?
Because you have the largest suitcase in the boat. You have clothes, you just brought tools. It's like on the Hansen brothers, you got cars in there. Here he goes. Let's see him come back. You have leather.
So next one after that is pick 133 to Omaha, and that's Sam Sheets off the board.
So we talked about Sam earlier. Said he's someone that was because of how high Brunder went. I think his teammate Chaska said this kid had 37 goals in 40 games. He gave an A- at the Battle of Blue Ox. What I like about him is his skating ability to separate, pull away from guys. He's very fluid with strides and fluid hips. He's a late 05. He played power play, penalty kill. And then we just saw him recently again at the USHL Combine. Part of Murph's top 25. We gave him an A- there.
Who's this one?
Sheets. We have him ranked 107.
Yeah, I had him in my top 25, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Good player. Decent player. All right,
So
so
far-
we're just is USHL not going to tweet these out? are they?
Maybe they're nervous about where we're going. That's a nice hat combo. Oh, look at that.
Looks good, right?
Oh, wow, look at you. Stopping traffic.
Yeah.
It's a totally different.
Just so
look here.
everybody knows, we're bringing Neon back this year at New Pavilion, so we're bringing Neon back. If I put my Oakleys on it, it will be too much.
It's not fair to the rest of the world.
Not fair to everybody.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it is interesting.
No, stop talking about you.
Oh, okay.
What do you got, Mark?
Now we know why the site wasn't updated because the website crashed.
Our website? Nope.
So,
We
yeah, the teams are all just updating on their Twitter pages. So I'm just going to go through and go one by one and see if I can keep track of the picks.
No, still not up. All right, so we'll just, that's why we have you, Mr. Bilotta. Those of you who don't know, Mr. Bilotta is scout. He is quality control. He is tech support. He is proofreader. He is Mr. Mass High School NZ. I'm being serious. If you have a moment, just read our Mass High School site. It's unbelievable. And people know about what our prep site was like last year. Hopefully we're getting in other areas too with the free sites with scores and recaps. And what Mark did this year was unbelievable. The exposure he gave to Mass High School kids, and not just the best, but everybody. So total hats off to him for everything that he does.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Hey,
You're
Bert.
talking about
We hear that Jeff Pellegrini is going to be taking over as hockey director at the Winchendon School.
At where?
The Winchendon School?
Yeah, I actually heard that John Toppy's the runs the program there. John Toppy used to be an assistant at Salisbury. He's like one of the best baseball coaches in the country. His brother actually played baseball. Well, I should say Toppy actually played college Division I baseball and hockey. I think he was drafted in both or one. His younger brother was drafted in the MLB, played at Villanova, and he could have won Division I in hockey. Probably could have been a draft pick too.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's now in Winchendon. He texted me saying that they were going after Pellegrini, but I didn't know if they got him.
Yeah, that's a huge pickup for them. It's going to be a changing for the program changer with him on board for sure.
Where Winchendon?
Winchendon, yeah, he's going to take over the girls program.
Oh, the girls program. Okay. Yeah.
He'll be the director of hockey for girls and boys.
Oh, and boys, sorry.
Okay.
Because he's coaching girls right now, right?
Boys 2000. He was the 15 U coach at Shattuck.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, but he's a Mass guy. So
he's from the Boston area though. He coached at Northeastern for the previous
he was at Bowdoin
9 or 10 years.
Bowdoin with Terry Marr when I was at top.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Really great guy.
Great coach.
He's good. It's a great pickup for Winchendon for sure.
Congrats, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're still trying to piece together where a lot of these picks are coming from. This is a bit of a weird one, but this is definitely something we can talk about. So Youngstown is making their first pick in the 10th round at 136. That's the next one that I can find on Twitter, and it's Dylan McFadden.
Oh, nice. So Dylan McFadden, we have him highly ranked. He is out of the Buffalo Junior Sabres. I believe he's a Toronto kid or an Ontario kid. Gave him a B+ at Nationals. Gave him a B+ at Silver Stick when he was a band. High skill, explosive shooter. He can separate. He's one-on-one. He's very skilled. I think he's their leading scorer, if I'm not mistaken. On a maybe Smith. Him and Smith, both up there. Gianta. That's a really good team. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more Buffalo Junior Sabres off the board, but to get McFadden in the 10th round is a real steal. We have him as our 73rd ranked prospect, 3.75 stars. So good value pick there, 10th round.
Good paying attention. Well done.
So the next pick that's at least been announced on Twitter is the 139 going to Lincoln. It's Matthew Vandervoort from Edina.
Oh, he's a good player. That's a good pick for them. Really smart pick. He's a smart player, great head on his shoulders, works hard, competes, plays both ways. Good player. That's a good pick.
You heard it first from our Minnesota extraordinaire, Brent Colton. We have him ranked as our 97th ranked prospect as a 375. He was an A- in the Bantam Elite League. Played a full season with Edina High School. He's very athletic, puck control, smart, strides getting better. That's a nice pick for. Did you say Lincoln, Mark?
Yes, for the Lincoln Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can stick with the Diner as an 05 for the season, you're really.
Yeah.
Next pick off the board is with Dubuque, pick 140. It's Ben Lalkin from the Toronto Junior Canadiens.
Okay, we'll have to look at our Bantam. How do you spell the last name?
Lalkin.
Okay, Ben Lalkin. Okay. Mississauga reps. He played Bantam AAA. That's what our scouts said. We get an A+, so we have him as a first-round grade for the OHL. This player is all over the puck, using above-average straight-line speed, an aggressive style of play towards the opposition. He's strong in the puck and on his edges, as well as on one-on-one battles along the boards. Wasn't afraid to drive down the slot area with the puck, across to produce a couple of good chances and push the session through this kind of play, A+. So that's obviously they're going to be battling with the OHL on Ben, but obviously real big.
Did they list him?
Is the site back up?
His page is fine.
So who we missed?
That's outside 125, so
Yep,
6 went to Des Moines, Nathan St. Germain from Carver, Quebec, Jackson Coleman from Carver, Christopher Thibodeau went to Waterloo from the Kitchener Range.
Yeah, so Thibodeau's another guy that we saw at the USHL Combine. We actually did our post team with him. He's got unbelievable wheels. And his dad, we saw his dad at the rink, said he hadn't played in like 6 months, which is amazing considering he was just dealing and dealing by guys. He's really good in open ice. He's slippery, slick. He plays with a lot of pace. I think he'll probably go higher in the OHL draft than he did here. But yeah, slippery, skilled, smart player, fun to watch, exciting.
Okay, so we go to 128 is Kyle Rower.
Yeah, we mentioned him already.
Okay, Tudo, Luca Pinelli, do we do him? Aiden Dyer. No, he's the kid I talked about earlier. I really liked and did a little video about after the first day. The USHL Combine in Wisconsin. 5'10", 155, plays like he's 6 feet, 175, leverage, strength, shuts down the rush, can run the power play, gets pucks up ice, quick in transition. Really, really like this player. This is a terrific pick here. I think he's a 375. So I think that's the right kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the M is a righty. He's a lefty.
Luca Pinelli was out of the Toronto Titans as a Bantam player. We got him as an A. Which means he's a first, second round OHL talent. Smart, quick forward, uses his smarts and quickness. Good second effort. Does everything from forechecking to attacking to back check, second effort, hustling all over the ice. So nice. I wonder if that's related to Francisco Pinelli, who was on the U18 Worlds. It's going to be a high NHL pick.
So Waterloo went back to back on Ontario kids, which is kind of interesting. Pinelli and Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Again, maybe that's sort of unknown with those kids, because those kids are pretty prepared from what we have to be able to play. All right, then Hayden Baum, Terpster, we talked about Sam Sheets, Chaska, we did him.
Yeah, he's Brendan Giles.
Giles. Fairfield.
Yeah, you got him. Murphy's it.
Really skilled, poised
Yeah.
kid. Another kid that's been overshadowed by some of the bigger names in that team. I really like this kid a lot.
Number 135, William.
Mcdonough.
The coach.
Yeah, it's like he's a good kid. A ton of skill. He actually had a really good weekend last weekend. He had a really nice goal on Friday at the Men's Festival. He's a kid that pisses everybody off all the time when you're playing. He gets under their skin, competitive, he's hard. He's got better skills than he gets credit for. He's got a good release. But honestly, the thing I like about him is even if you're doing, a skill session with small games, and he's a really competitive kid and wants to win every battle.
Okay, next up we've got
Did McFadden. Mary.
Naren. Yeah, I just saw him at Nationals.
From Mayo, North Dakota. Is it Mayo? Did I say it wrong?
Minot.
I call it Mayo.
Okay, Zach Nearing, he was B at Nationals. Tall, long, raw forward, high compete level. Played every shift, finishes checks. 2 assists there. Good net front, relentless on the forecheck. Back checks hard as well. Good two-way guy with good size. That's a nice pick for Sioux Falls. Then we've got Noah Rolnick.
Yeah, he was out at Nationals for the Thunderbirds. Always around the puck. He scored the overtime winner to beat the Rockets, I believe, in the quarterfinals. Solid frame. Just got to the soft areas of the ice. Didn't hesitate to get to the net, bag, jumped on rebounds. Just, was always just around the puck.
Next one up, Ty James. We said earlier this kid might get picked. I'm not surprised by his hometown team. An Omaha player. We have him ranked 99th, so good value here.
Nico Pasquale.
He's a small, skilled defenseman. He got an invite at the Midwest camp, so we'll see him in Buffalo. And he's actually the highest scoring, I got a note in here saying he's the highest scoring 2005 D playing U16 in the country. So that's kind of cool.
Wow.
Quick, elusive, speedy.
That's some knowledge right there.
That's some interesting knowledge right there. Ty James, nice pick. Yes, Murph, you're right. We missed Nico. How did you pronounce the last name? Pasquale.
Everybody wants to make fun of the way I say names, but
Yeah, I'm terrible.
but when you do it, everyone just is very serious.
Yeah.
Because you have a boss, right?
So,
No, it's because we like it.
what do we think of Pasquale?
I
It's not a player I have seen.
I don't know either.
it says he's with their. This can't be right. I don't know him. I just have to be honest. It says Berkshire School, but
Omaha pick, so probably Omaha
Take
scout
over.
Jeff Cox probably on this one, local guy in the New England
See
region,
if I
taking
can-
a kid out of Berkshire School.
we watched.
Says Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen him. He must new to the scene, so to speak.
Next up, we have Bradley Gardner out of St. Andrews. They didn't play this year. That's an unbelievable program in Aurora, Ontario. They generated a ton of talent out of that school. Coach Manning does a terrific job. So nice get for. I'm gonna see if he's on our AM list. No, from last year. Okay, then we've got Ryan DeAngelis. He played for Phoenix Junior Coyotes. He's going to Chicago. Taking another shot here, Western Canada. Chicago Steel going Tyler Chan. He's Burnaby Winter Club. We had him ranked 32nd in our WHL draft group. He's a 4-star kid. So again, Ryan Hardy, their GM, they just won the championship. He's made a living off of taking some CHL kids and taking some risks. So if they can get this kid, he's electric, really fast, really quick, high IQ, agile, makes guys miss. He's an exciting kid to watch. Next up, we've got Michael Bartkowski.
Yeah, he's a fast player. Uses his speed to push opponents into bad gaps and cuts into that space, makes plays. And drive the net, will hit the late out box, so he's got vision, he knows what's going on around him. Quick release, sees the back door, sees the late guy, so his vision is multi-layered, and again, good speed, and that allows him to create space. He'll drive the net, and also has a good net front, scored a couple of deflections.
We've got Tyler Dyer, right shot D out of Gentry Academy. He's going to Cedar Rapids, I believe. Is that the last pick?
Cedar Rapids.
That is our last pick.
Last pick, just won the state championship. We have him as an A in the Minnesota Bantam Elite League. But yeah, I think they've had 2 or 3 kids out of Gentry Class A champs to get drafted here. That was a very strong team. This kid is out of Blaine. It says Tyler. I haven't seen him play. I'm just reading what our scouts say in Minnesota. Tyler can really move laterally, get out of trouble. He snapped the puck off, made a high percentage play. Can still grow and gain strength as he gets older. Young defender, made us aware of his abilities, hockey sense by his consistency. Skating and puck skills are excellent. So the last pick, Tyler Dyer. Congratulations. I think that is it.
Cedar Rapids had an interesting draft. They took some Mass kids, a couple of Gentry kids, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, right? They took Kanata.
Sorted by team.
Yeah. They took kid from Sabres, Fritz. He's a good player. Sam Caracello, we talked about him. Reese Shaw was a player that we think had good value there. In the 5th round, another Gentry player. Colin Emery, who they obviously paid Massachusetts, and and then also Zakari, who's at Taylor. So I think they did well. It's an interesting group. So let's see, a lot of upside in that group.
So I'm just looking at our list
teams
to see who are some of the higher guys left.
Mark, what did you?
Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
So these are just the list of who each team took. So if anybody has any last remarks on each of the picks, now is the time.
Well, I was going to say let's talk about some of the tenders. We didn't get into the tenders. We kind of skipped over them. To Tri-City, Tanner Adams. Kid's got a ton of pace to his game. Works really hard. He was an NTDP invite kid. He was all over the ice there. Made it hard for them to turn him down. Next guy, Gavin McCarthy for Muskegon, another NTDP invite kid, played U16s. Just a very reliable two-way defenseman. I think he's Casey McCarthy's younger brother, if I'm not mistaken, at BU. But very mature game. Tanner Wallos, pick out of Fargo. He played for Milwaukee Junior Admirals, U16s. I love this kid at NTDP. Works so hard, plays the game the right way. He's got skill, he's got pace. And then Matt Mania, big body defenseman, played up U16s with New Jersey Avalanche. We had him pretty highly rated. I think he's our 5th highest defenseman in the age group. So we think highly of him.
Huge fan of that kid.
Really tough guy. So those were the tenders. I don't think there was any other tenders. Was there?
Unless it was live. I think Chicago tended from Swabota.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, kid, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
believe, but I think that was not recent. I think that was
a while ago.
a couple months ago. But that's another kid I was just going to mention when you talk about some of these Western Canada kids that Hardy was taking and taking chances on. This kid was a stud at nationals. He's high end.
You have to keep your eyes on him.
Yeah,
He's one of those kids.
he took control of games, and he's small right now. So I think there's a lot of upside.
He's a
there.
late 5 too, right?
I believe he's a late 5, and there's a lot of upside there because he's going to grow. But the way he skates and the way that he picks up speed is just is pretty high end.
Yeah, there's another Stratham out of CYA, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm just looking up the proper pronunciation. That we had pretty high. I think he was tendered as well. Yeah, Andrew Stratham. He had an A at USA Nationals. Two-way skilled defenseman, puck possession guy, good size. He was tendered by Tri-City. He just ran the show there. So I think that was a nice pickup. And then Muskegon drafted tendered. I wish they put it on the website that it just says tender. They don't put the kid's name. But, they have a kid we have ranked as a 4-5 out of Ontario, Carson Rekpov. Tall, lanky, magician with the puck, big body, handles hard passes, can dangle, can shoot. He was tendered. He was an A+ grade at Bantam in Ontario. Hasn't played this year, but he was given a 4.5-star rating, 7th overall on our list. So nice pick from Muskegon there. But I think that's it for tenders that we know of. I'm trying to find who are some of the top kids that were left off, at least according to these rankings. Probably Skogan Schrott out of Florida Alliance, I think is the highest ranked guy that didn't get taken, 70th on our board. The Tayesuto Ushio out of Rink Academy, 75th ranked. Again, he's Canadian, so might have been some CHL risk there. Cameron Doran is probably the guy that I probably personally like the best that wasn't picked, 79th ranked, 375 out of the Buffalo Junior Sabres. Tall, thin. When this kid fills out, he's going to be special. He's got unbelievable hands. And Murphy really liked Michael Hagen's Mount St. Charles, our 80th ranked player.
Yes.
So 4 guys in the top 80 that weren't selected. Everybody else was. And then, we'll follow up with reports, talk about certain teams. We'll highlight guys on the website over the next couple of days, and then look forward to tomorrow. We'll get on it early at around 1:30 to talk about recap some of the draft picks here. We'll probably talk to some coaches and some USHL guys over the night and tomorrow and get some of their feedback on what they thought of how the day unwound. And then tomorrow we'll start here, like I said, 1:30. Draft starts at 2 Eastern time. And we have no idea what to expect tomorrow. The USHL Phase 2 draft is the Wild West, as always. But this year, without the Canadians playing, with junior hockey being the way it was, tomorrow could be crazy. We could see OHL, WHL guys taken off the board. We could see the Euro. I have no idea what to expect tomorrow.
Major junior guys go.
Yeah.
We should.
So
4 major junior guys.
Get ready for an interesting day tomorrow. Probably won't be as
Why would that be Coach Murphy?
Because it would be the draft year.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
I can work with the NHL.
Excellent.
Anyone want to go through who their favorite pick was? Ed, or I'll start. I'll tell you who my favorite pick was. Ryan Nicholas by Sioux City at number 8. I think he's going to be a really, really great player, and I think there's even real value at 8 because I would have taken him at 2. The only player I would have taken over was Whitelaw. Okay. What about you, Brendan?
I'm looking. Let someone else go.
Ian, who is your favorite pick?
I love Whitelaw. Really,
Yeah.
truly. I cannot believe he's not playing on the national team. I think the kid is a stud. I love how he thinks. I love how competitive he is. I can't stop thinking about it. The UAT Nationals when when they were protecting a goal under a minute left, he's out taking D zone draws.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, he's number 1 overall. It's really no shock. And I think he's a kid that I'm just shocked he's not with the national team.
No, do you think it's good because I think he said that he's going back to Shattuck.
And he says he's going back to Shattuck. I think there's probably a lot going on there. I have no idea who his advisor is, but I would imagine. My thought when all this happened was that when everything gets cleaned up, that he had success against older kids, that he will end up, and if Canada gets cleaned up COVID-wise, he'll end up in the WHL. That's what I thought from the start of all this.
Is the statement sticking to it?
I'm a fan of how that kid plays, how he approaches things. Let's see here. I'll look for like a later sleeper type of thing.
Yeah, I like early on. My favorite would be 3rd rounder Teddy Townsend out of Eden Prairie. Bantam Player of the Year, just an exceptional speed, skill guy. I actually thought he was a snub for national camp. Surprised he didn't get an invite. So to go in the 3rd round, I think it's. And then my other one would be Grayson Slippick, if Chicago can get him. But if Chicago gets him, and we saw them get Fantilli, he's special. He's that kind of special.
Well, he's a special GM also. He's pulling that off.
Yeah.
Two other ones that were sleepers. 7th round, Ty Hendricks.
Yeah.
From Shattuck. That's a nice get by Youngstown. And then Dubuque took Cam Russo a few picks later.
Yeah.
I think that's another
Really
good one that a lot of potential there.
Yeah, he's one of the better players to come along the area, New England area, in a while. He can play.
Like Chris O'Flaherty out of Chicago Young Americans, we had him as a top 50 guy. He went at 102, so I think there's some real value in him late in the draft. And then my sleeper guy, I guess, would be Kyle Moore out of Sioux City. I just think he's one of those kids. He's tall, light, super athletic, really smooth. Once he grows into his frame, I think he could be scary good.
My sleeper is he's a 9th round pick to Madison, Brendan Giles from Mid-Fairfield. I think he's one of those kids that was on that team with all the highly talented kids that were going to national camp. I think he was under the radar. I just think he's a hell of a player. He's smart as hell. He's creative, ton of poise. He's got great feet. That would be my sleeper. I think he's similar size to Wyatt Law. Obviously, not the same kind of kid, but he's definitely a sleeper in my mind. He could do very well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I got. Hayden Bonk got a little late. You guys all know that. And then, a player that is interesting, and we're kind of wrapping this up, is young woman, actually, goalie, Annalise Bergman. She was at the Wisconsin USHL Combine, and I'd have to look at my notes to be sure, but they played 2 25s, and in those 25s, she gave up 0 goals, 1 goal, 1 goal, and 3 goals.
Yeah, I think the game I saw, the last game, I think she had 1 goal.
In the games that I watched. Now, she played for a good team, but she's big, like over 6 feet big, athletic, talks in the net. And I believe that one of her goals before she heads off to college, where she'll be spectacular, and I would guess part of USA Hockey as well on the women's side is to play in the USHL. Based on what I saw, she was right there with any goalie at that combine. So, at least if you're out there or you're listening, I know you're not the type to have your head down and never see it in the net, but you're a really good player. So, on the women's side, you're on the men's side mostly because you've played boys hockey, but she's really smart, really athletic, and has real size. So it's a distinct possibility that she can make it to that level. Not right away, and that's probably why she can go in this phase 1, but at some point. So I just wanted to mention that because for her to be able to play
for sure.
For Oakland as 16s Tier 1 is 15s Tier 1 is extraordinary. She was very good at, I think she was at Foxborough prior to that. So that's really it. That's all I have. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, and check out our top 250 rankings. Take a look at some of the guys that your teams have drafted or are fans of, because you played against. It's a fluid list. We'll be updating it again after Buffalo, the National Development Camp. So if you don't like where you're at, you can always go up. But yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mark.
See everybody.